stream. There we go, and we are live. Welcome back to Kingless Chronicle. Last time, the party arrived at King's Landing and began to investigate the individuals in this tavern to see who brought the contraband item that put King's Landing in jeopardy. Last time, the party started talking to two of the individuals, got some clues, and we left off as they were about to continue investigating. So, without further ado, we're just gonna go right back into it. So, let's see. Gildos, you just finished talking with Delon on the 3rd floor. You and him were discussing the information that you gathered. You from Grimmer Dougal right over here, and him from Gerald McAllister over here. You can see that Yorm and Eleanor are still sitting by the bar. Yorm is playing up how flirty he is with her, and Eleanor is visibly embarrassed. But everything seems to be going fine still.
No, I have like 46.
You have what?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mute it. Stop.
Okay. I was like, 46? I don't see 46 on your numbers. What? Alrighty. So with that, party, what are you going to get up to in this tavern here?
Well, talk to somebody else, because Victor did nothing wrong. If he's the murderer, I'm going to be sad. I'm just saying. I'm going to be sad. But then I'm going to eat him. Neutral, baby!
Well, I mean, it's not about a murder this time. It's about a stolen item.
Yeah, it's it's a whodunit, but you know.
Who EMP'd the capital?
Yeah, I mean, it's like destroying property. Yeah. Used to it being murder mysteries, because that's just what Marshall does most of the time. He's branching out. He's branching out his skill set.
I enjoy murder mysteries, but not this time. That comes maybe later.
I don't know, the guy Delon was talking to was pretty suspicious, honestly. We talked to this guy yet?
The only
I talked to this guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
you talked to him. The dwarf.
We haven't talked to the dwarf yet.
Yeah, no one's talked to him yet.
You can talk to whoever you want.
Pretty sure DeLon was considering talking to either the dwarf or the mage, I think.
I'm talking to the mage because I'm gonna ask him about his wares, and I want to bring up the gem.
Ah, okay.
Mhm.
And I
Haven't
know
ruled
that,
out anybody.
Gildos was considering talking to Victor.
Yeah.
Victor Fatoni. Dino Spumoni.
So, come now. Don't be shy. Step up. Try your luck at the carnival of fate.
That's a carnival?
Nah, not at the moment.
Oh. I got excited all of a sudden. It's like,
But Bub and
it's like
Evan at the
good
same
luck
time.
with this investigation, guys. Bub's leaving.
Bub's going to the carnival. Bub becomes a member of the traveling circus.
I wouldn't put it
Honestly,
past
yeah.
Bub to actually do that. Yeah.
He'd fit in that kind of campaign, not gonna lie. No, I think if we do a shorty stat campaign, we should all be a traveling carnival. Change my mind.
Short stack carnies.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I know like I have limited time and I should go first, but I honestly can't really think of anything.
That's alright.
Let me just look at my quest list and get back to you.
So Evan has passed the magic conch. So who wants to have it? Dirty Dan or Pinhead Larry?
Who you calling Pete?
Yeah, I thought that we changed both their names to that.
Well, I guess I'll go. I mean, so I have no idea what I'll do. But whatever.
Had a whole week.
Yeah, I had a whole week, right? But like, a whole week of like not thinking about it. Well,
That's
like,
your fault.
only remembering like this morning, I was like, yeah, maybe I should think about it. I'm like, yeah, I could. Like, I'm trying, but like nothing's coming up. So whatever. It's not like I knew what I was doing last week either. So
Hey, you did well last week.
yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, I'll yeah, let's go back from the third floor. I'll just like seat at the bar with everyone else.
Alrighty. As you sit down at the bar, you see that Victor looks in your direction for a moment. He gives you a brief nod. A drink for a refill for the good man. And you see him slide another gold coin across the counter.
Awfully generous, are you? Well, thanks.
You're quite welcome. I find generosity enriches the soul and strengthens the bonds of camaraderie.
Lou. So like, can I get just a quick rundown of like what we got from him last week?
Yeah,
Like I know
brief.
Bob like taught it, but
Yeah, brief reminder of cliff notes of what you got from him is that he's been here for a bit. If you need to go over the suspect info, it's at the top as well.
yeah.
He arrived 7 months ago. He's been here for a bit. When the whole thing went down, he was at the back entrance and covering the windows of the gnomish establishment. When he was basically questioned by the Templars why he was casing the place, being all suspicious, he basically said that he was covering the back exits, assuming that the culprit would try to make a hasty, subtle retreat. He didn't expect them to leave out the front door. He also encouraged Bub to be honest with guards and to just, be honest. Don't hold back any information if you are being accosted by guards. If you've done nothing wrong, then you have no reason to lie. There's nothing, they can't pin you for anything if you've done nothing wrong in the first place. Then he also mentioned that, it is visible around his neck, is a pendant of Tiamat.
Right.
He sounds more suspicious when you explained it again, honestly. But no, I'm pretty sure he's innocent. Unless there's a bigger conspiracy going on, he's innocent.
So you would think.
Y'all can talk to him. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, talk to him, but like, I don't fucking know, man. Yeah, no, I'm quite literally drawing the blank. It's bad.
Seeing you staring into your glass a bit, you see him give you another nod. A copper for your thoughts, perhaps.
Yeah, what?
A copper for your thoughts.
Yeah, no, like.
See him nod again. Must be quite the dense and personal subject then. I noticed you have a weapon. It's rather exotic blade. Take it as a mercenary you traveled very far.
Well, I've been here and there, really. Well, hold on. Need to check something. Again. Problem is, like, all the handouts are like here and there, so. I can never find the one I'm looking for. And then there, where is it?
They're clustered best at the moment, but I do intend to organize them a little more a little later.
Yeah, because you have like a bunch of handouts are important at the top, but they still have like a bunch of handouts that are important in the middle, you know.
I intend to move them around at some point. Because the ones at the top are the ones that have been the most notable. It's not as bad for y'all though. There's like 5 handouts that are at the top right now that are only GM at the moment, roughly. So it looks a little worse on my end, I think.
Right. No, but like, yeah, to go back to the conversation, I'll say, well, as a mercenary, I haven't really traveled that far, or really to too many places. No, most of my travels were during my time in the King's Landing army.
Ah, I see. So that's where you got your blade then.
Um, Not exactly, you know. I did get it during my mercenary work, but
I see.
I think the two overlaps really. Think about it. This belonged to a lizard man I knew from my tour of duty, shall we say.
Ah, I
And
see.
well, we grew to be pretty close, and when it was time for me to leave due to injuries and all, he gave it to me.
A much better circumstance than merely a trophy from a hard-fought battle.
No, that would be Iolos over there.
Ah, yes. Well, very nicely made golem. Looks quite expensive. Silver, correct?
Silver indeed.
It's very
Uh,
fine metal. Must be priceless.
That he is. And he's been with me for the past 12 years now. Wouldn't trade him for anything else.
It's very nice to have companions that you can spend a very long amount of time with. I'm afraid that I personally am more of a lone wanderer, if you will.
Well, I've seen quite a lot of the continent then, given your age.
Well, yes, I've been quite possibly, there's no place in Canes that I have not been at some point. I served time as a mercenary at one point. I guarded some caravans from that. I've traveled the lands of the Holy Man of Tiamat. Did my best to spread her word here and yonder. and I paid pilgrimage to several holy sites along the way. Discussed theology with the elves. Discussed theology with the drow, even.
Drow.
Oh yes. Very ill-tempered, quite rude group of folks, but their culture is interesting.
Does that mean you visited one of their enclaves then?
Ah, you know of the enclaves.
Well, I just looked toward Eleanor. It was like she's in drow form, right? At
Mm-hmm.
the moment. Yeah. We'll say. Oh, I know a thing or two from my lady.
Ah, I see.
I've never been there myself.
See him nod several times to take a sip of his drink. If you get the chance, just remember to have an open mind and ask plenty of questions. But don't challenge their beliefs. They don't like that. They don't like new ideas.
Well, it is in my plans to one day take a short leave. Well, or rather a medium one. On my duty with the lady and visit the Savage Lands. See what I can find out. Or really, meet with the elves in general.
I see. Highly recommend staying out of the swamps. Stay northward if you can. And bring plenty of food. Travel light. And bring some anti-poisons. Don't bring anything that'll rot in humidity. Recommend no
Oh,
heavy
thank-
armor either. Might fall into the water and drown.
Well, thankfully there's enough resources in Asturion to prepare well for that travel, for that little voyage.
Oh yes.
So it's still a
Excellent
long
place to-
ways away.
Tell me of one of your expeditions, and I'll tell you of one of mine.
As a mercenary or a soldier?
Either works.
Ah, well, I may as well tell you about how I became a mercenary. Well, really the reason why I left the army. See, remember the incident that happened 12 years ago with Sir Rorikstead?
Ah
Or was
yes.
it Warwickstead?
That was quite the kerfuffle. I was in the vicinity when it happened, but I did not see it firsthand.
Well, I happened to be participant in that little incident. Now, while I may not have slain as many orcs as the Lord at the time, I did get a few under my belt. And at the same time, one of them got under my belt and I just pointed to my hip. Damn well just shattered it.
I see. It's a miracle you can even walk.
Miracle indeed. But, like, I say it'll just like, well, I don't really have like my pen on the bridges because it would be too obvious. So, just like, hold a little trinket. I'd say I just like made it like expressly before we went to the tavern. Say, yes, a miracle indeed, but with a little faith, can brave anything.
That is something I
Oh.
believe we can agree upon. A little bit of faith can take a man very far. A great amount of faith can take him to the stars.
the truth. Although, while I did have a shot at the hit at the time, it didn't really dawn on me until after the battle ended. With the adrenaline and all. But, needless to say that I couldn't really quite walk or even stand up anymore. And that's when Lord Warwickstead came to me and rewarded me for my bravery. And when we got back to the capital, that's when he gifted me with Iolos over there to take care of my needs. Should my legs be worse off.
I see. You must have done quite exceptionally in that battle to have warranted a personal gift from Warwickstead himself.
Well, I don't usually brag, so unfortunately people don't really know about what I did. And I never really talked about it. Not unless asked.
Tell me more. Very curious.
Not because I wasn't there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just really give me some history to back things up.
A little bit of a history roll?
Yes. Because I wasn't there like maybe 12 years ago. Yeah, like. That's 15.
15. Not too bad. It's fairly recent history, so it's not super super hard roll. It was a big event. Lots of people heard about it. So that incident was basically it was a border skirmish. There was a lot of border skirmishes at the time with the elves, but this was the orcish raiding incident where during the Elvish King's Landing War, small military of orcs began raiding Gloucester and King's Landing's border villages. Eventually, the orcs were routed basically completely when Warwickstead and his army basically met the orc army in a Troy-style army-to-army standoff, where Warwickstead attempted to communicate with the orcish war chief personally to attempt to communicate a cease of these issues. It started to seemingly go well, but the events go that nobody really seems to know who shot the first arrow. But the instant and one arrow flew, both sides went into a full-on war. And so 300 men, making up about 300 men of King's Landing and Gloucester combined, with some Rinaldians thrown in who were, on duty to help out because they were near the area, fought some like 600 orcs. The training and the resolve of Kane's military ended up winning out at the end of the day against the brutality of the orcs. But there were great casualties on both sides. The orcs military band ended up basically being so insignificant at that point that they were forced to either surrender, flee, or be killed off. Most of them fought to the death, though. Only a handful either surrendered or were taken in chains.
I see.
Some of those survivors did eventually find their way to the land of monsters, though.
Yeah. So, I'll say, well, as you all know, the orcs from the land of monsters were getting bold and raided our border villages. So, together with Lord Warwickstead, we went on an expedition to round them out. And on that day, found ourselves in the field, army to army, face to face. Why, Hold on. Need to check my distances because I don't want to bullshit. Well, I mean, I'm bullshitting, but you know, not too much. Of course, I don't know why, but Google just don't fucking load like half the time nowadays.
I know.
Yeah, I don't care about swimming. Yeah, that sounds about right. So yeah, as I was saying, two armies facing each other, while we're below even 100 paces at this point, just staring daggers at each other. And as we remain there, our lord just stepped forward and tried to appeal to the old war chief. And me myself, I was positioned on the right wing, so couldn't really clearly see what was going on, but I heard him talk, asking him why he was doing that, like what was his end goal. But the war chief never really answered back. And to be perfectly honest with you, I was not only worried about the orcs in front of me, but given where we were, I was almost expecting the savage landers to just come out of the woods, come out of the mountains, just attack us. Well, just kill two birds with one stone. Just get rid of some orcs and then get rid of some humans.
Would have been extremely cutthroat, but effective.
Indeed. So I stood there. Honestly, I started sweating nervously. They said, I don't know what happened, but an arrow flew off, and honestly, didn't really know from which end of the army. But at that point, all hell broke loose, and not even 20 seconds later, I found myself in the melee. And boy, what a melee that was! Outnumbered 2-1 against, well, orcs. You know, the kind of people who just stands 2 heights taller than you, or probably twice as large as yourself. And you yourself just have your standard issue gear. There'll be a chainmail, a shield if you're lucky, and, well, a sword.
I think so. I think such a story deserves something a little stronger, don't you?
It would, but I don't think. I'll guess that the other end of the counter would like me to be drunk on the job. Isn't that right?
I would much appreciate to keep your senses about you. Ah, but my lady, Lady Silverspoon, we are in King's Landing. This is a war hero. He's earned it, hasn't he? To drink, bought from one veteran, given to another. You would not deny us this, would you? Deny a drink shared among men of the battle. You see, Eleanor kind of give him a narrowed gaze for a moment before slowly nodding in your direction. Go ahead, just drink it slowly, please.
And I'll say, well, unfortunately for me, I don't see you in double or quadruple yet, so we'll still have a long way to go.
Indeed. Men like us, we're used to the drink. Takes a bit more from men of our hardiness to get, as I've heard some of the farmers say, thoroughly shit-faced. Though I personally prefer terms like thrashed or smashed or losing your facilities. And you actually see him place about 20 gold down from his purse and raise 2 fingers. The barkeep nods, and you see him actually go into a back room for a moment, come back with like a bottle, and he uncorks it and pours two short glasses, not shot glasses, but hearty but short glasses. Thank you, my good man. It's good stuff, strong, similar to what we used to have on the battlefield, but only for the celebrations. Though perhaps your regiment had something different.
Oh, no. Not exactly, although I was young back then, so I tried to refrain from drinking while out in the field. Or at least any time, really. Wouldn't want to, well, at the time, I thought, well, I didn't want to end up like the poor lad over there, and I point to McAllister.
Oh no. He's a young man, hasn't learned to nurse his drink yet. If he doesn't manage to pull himself out of that hole he's dug himself in, he may never find it. But I cannot help him, nor can you. For it is a hole he's dug for himself. And for as long as he continues to dig it, he will not be able to climb out of it.
Well, one could say that there could always be people on the top of the hole just try to throw ropes in it, or pull him out, but
Would he take the rope, if offered?
that's not for me to answer.
It is for him to decide. You see him raise his glass. To heroes of war. Or should I see Yorm raise his glass? Heroes of war! They actually hear the dwarf in the distance. To heroes of war!
To
And
heroes
Gerald
of war.
in the background. To heroes of war!
Look at that nerd over there, don't say anything.
No, he just like he like quietly raises his little glass, but then puts it back down. Doesn't really sip either.
It's from Mysterium, you wouldn't know anything about war.
Yeah.
Bunch of pansies over there.
Oh, getting regional here.
No, but get back on track though. We clashed, and if it wasn't for the men to my left, to my right, and behind me, I think I'd be dead in probably the first 2 clashes. But somehow we pulled through, and after a handful of orcs dead, shit you not, there's this orc, taller than the ones we faced off, but still smaller than the war chief. Just comes in with a mace, just as big as you, really. And unlike the other orcs, this one had orange skin. I couldn't believe my eyes. An orange orc.
Ah, what a fine stock then.
I mean, I've heard of grey orcs, but that's usually the ones we call half orcs, aren't they? I mean, those tend to be greyish in color.
Grayish, green, olive drab, perhaps.
orange one. Had
They're
I
rare,
been
but
more...
not extra ferocious.
Had I been raised in Reynolds for a while longer, I would have made some witty remark about his pumpkin color, but at the time, survival instinct took over and tried to do something about him. After all, just letting that man, thing, leaves would be spell doom for at least the whole right flank. At least that was the thought at the time. So we clashed. And after, I think, a good 5 minutes, taking him on 5-1. It was only me and him left. Man on the right, man on the left died. Man behind me, badly wounded. And me, my sword chipped, my shield bashed in. Somehow, a working arm. Tried to raise my hand. There is my sword. And lunged. I didn't really see anything, but more felt something. As he swung his mace, it hit me right in the leg. And as it did so, my sword plunged right into his torso. From the momentum of his swung, my arm just followed and ripped through half his torso, I think. And from there, well, don't remember much. Besides, well, trying to understand what happened and then limping back to the formation. Well, fortunately, the battle was almost over by the time. Rather quick, really. After all, when all the orcs fight for death, don't have to. Well, let's just say that they become more reckless. More.
The ferocity is a
True.
strength as much as it is a weakness. For men of training, when dealing with men of ferocity, you just need to
Well,
weather the storm.
to be fair, why not for our Lord, personally slaying 100 of them? I'm not sure if we could have won that.
Indeed. I've heard from multiple people his first-hand accounts of his exceptional skill with his blade.
Well, unfortunately, from what I've heard, I haven't seen him in years, have we?
He's been, from what I've heard, a bit reclusive of late. I believe he's returned to his family estate and rarely makes personal attendances anymore. I understand this and the feeling, but I find that giving in to such reclusive tendencies simply makes them worse. Makes an old man bitter. It's good to go out again.
And he's getting on the age. Can't exactly blame him. But well, I've told you one of my story. How about you? Regale me with something. So
I'll tell you a
This must be a
story of
reason.
my time in the service, I think. Or would you prefer something more recent, more current?
Ah, I'd lean more into something more current, you know. But curious, why would someone like you be there at this time?
Ah, why am I within King's Landing then?
Right.
Well, it's not so complicated really. Goes back. I was in Gloucester. I had just finished a job that I had been hired to do. Been paid about 10 gold to investigate a farmer's missing son. Rescued the boy from his captors, and unfortunately the captors did not make it out alive, so they could not be brought in for questioning. But, see him, rub a finger on his ring, which is a ring of Tiamat as well, but it also has a strange symbol on it. I'm an old hand at investigating people.
Would it even be possible to determine like what the symbol is, or is
You
it
could make a
like,
history roll.
well, it's, yeah, 23?
So, you're only familiar with this symbol since you're a member of the clergy. You're a man of faith. This is a symbol that these days has a very bad implication.
Ooh.
You quickly have looking at the symbol, Gillis. You know you're sitting next to an inquisitor.
Yeah, I guess that would explain like why he's been doing things that way. Uh-huh. So yeah, after he shows me the ring, I'll say, I see, so you're a follower of Tiamat, but I had no idea it was to this extent.
My faith has never been stronger. Has never left me. My lady, while mysterious, while she can be flightful, she is as the moon. She illuminates all whenever there is darkness, and occasionally she feels the need to ask you in that darkness, so that you might overcome it, overcome the trial before you, so that you might grow stronger for it. And when you've succeeded, when you've weathered the darkness, and do not quake or bask in terror, my lady comes out to illuminate once again, as a guiding light to lead you from that abyss.
And now, no, in agreement.
But
I
I am no
see.
longer a member of the Inquisitus Order. Their numbers are dwindling, and I found that I do not like sitting in the temples of King's Landing all day.
So that's why you turned to a mercenary, I assume.
Yes. But I had just finished saving a boy. Returned him to his family. They thanked me. They offered me dinner. I accepted. It's a kind thing for them to offer. For the meal was good. I actually returned the 10 gold. The meal was superior to the gold that you could pay me. The meal in the company. And shortly after, I made my way to Gloucester again. While within Gloucester, I was wandering through the streets, as I tend to do after a successful operation. I wander and I listen. I love the sound of that city. I always have. I love hearing the people clamoring. I love to hear the dwarven women selling their wares, selling fruit, selling pies. I enjoy hearing some of the huntsmen selling meats, selling their fresh kills, their fowl. Occasionally we have a few sailors come in from the coast, to sell fish. Fresh fish. Nothing quite like it. But while there, I overheard some people talking. New voices. New voices are always fun. I love meeting new people. And I approached these people and I listened to them, talked to them. I'm an old hat at these things, and I knew something wasn't quite right. I couldn't quite get what I wanted from them. But I knew enough at that point that something was going to be happening in King's Landing in just a few months. Something was to happen in King's Landing, my sister country. Well, I had to investigate. The more I investigated, the more I realized it might be smart to keep this very quiet. For if I were to inform the Templars, if I were to inform the wrong people, these individuals would vanish without a trace, bide their time, simply try again in a few decades. It's the issue when you deal with ne'er-do-wells who walk on the wrong side of life. They're skittish, frightful. You make too strong of an approach, you'll scare them off. And like a deer, terrified of a predator, they'll hide. You must coax them again. Sometimes the coaxing will not work. So I stalked my prey. I listened attentively. And I found myself here. I understood that it was to happen at the Gnomish Trading Company. I covered the back exits and the windows. I was certain these are the types of people that when it happens, they won't bother leaving through the front door. For the Templars will be right outside, they'll be caught immediately. But instead, they surprised me. They did leave through the front door. Before I knew it, I was being asked, "Why are you here outside skulking around this place?" And I informed them. I'm following up on a lead. My name is Victor Fatoni, of the Fatoni family. And I immediately handed them my paperwork. They asked me what I was doing at King's Landing, what I was doing away from Gloucester. I simply told them, I am investigating a cultist. I tracked him here. And I was around this building to cover the exits, as I knew your men would catch him in the front. Together we would create a net this creature could not wiggle through. And for some months now I have been city-locked. And while King's Landing is an immaculate, beautiful city, a wonderful place, I'm afraid that it does not hold a candle to my Gloucester.
I see. Well, that's quite the unfortunate story.
Not so unfortunate, I'd say. Just one simple tale.
But those people in Gloucester that we're talking about, what was to happen in King's Landing, do you happen to see how they look like?
Yes, actually. They were wearing hoods over their heads, of a sort that I've been familiar with in the past. That's what immediately tipped me off. So I reached into my pack and took out an old... well, how do we say this? An old trophy. Put it on and pretended to be one of them. I learned that there was a old looking halfling amongst them. young-looking elf. And a bugbear, I believe. The bugbear was under the effects of a spell to change his appearance. I believe it might have been either Alter's self or something similar. Disguised person, perhaps.
Bugbear in the middle of the castle.
Aye.
Yeah.
But he looked nothing. He looked no different than an average man.
Then again, would I even know what a bugbear is?
There's not a lot of them, but there are a few in Reynold, and I think Land of Monster Savage Lands.
Yeah. Yeah, we got an old halfling, a bugbear, and an elf.
They were all wearing a very specific cloak. The color was strange, as I had not seen members with teal cloaks with a purple symbol on the back before then. But I knew that wasn't the real cloak. No, they had used another spell on the cloaks to hide their colors. Their real cloaks were red. Between you and me, if you see individuals with a crimson red cloak, steer clear of them, for your own safety.
I think I've seen a fair few in Asterium. But now that you told me that, I'll be doubly vigilant. Triply even.
He nods at you. It's good. They're dangerous folks. Very deceptive. And sometimes when you are talking to them, you never really know that you're talking to them.
But you said you used a trophy to hide amongst, them. May I ask how you got a hold of it?
Yes, actually. The trophy is a special cloak of magical properties. I believe it's incredibly old. It's a beautiful fabric. Once worn, you can use some of the magic within it to alter your appearance and assume something nearly similar to how you actually look. But you will still be visibly wearing a cloak over yourself, and should the cloak be removed from you, your true self will be revealed from underneath. I retrieved it from a group of cultists once. I had gone in to dispatch them swiftly, and to the last cultist, the very last man. And I did. But while investigating their complex, I found this immaculate, beautiful, magical cloak. I took it to an expert, an old acquaintance of mine. He told me of its properties, and that it was safe. It had not been hexed, no curses. It was completely safe to use. He gave me a price, and I said, no, my good man. I think I'd like to keep this one.
If you have it on you, might I see it? To be perfectly honest, I don't usually see magical items like those.
I do not see why not. It's ultimately harmless in its own right. You see him reach around onto his hip and open up a satchel bag where you can see a leather-bound book that has the word Tiamat upon it, and you also see right next to it is a well-folded up cloth. He takes it out and unfolds it one little layer at a time, revealing a full-body cloak that would rest on your head, shoulders, and fall down to your legs. The strange thing is it's colored white, and it has a few little silver, almost like stars running up and down the back of it. So if it's like white with silver stars.
Well, I would cast Identify on it, but still like a 1 minute cast time. It's like if we want to stay undercover, it would be bad. So I'm just gonna roll a plain Arcana roll. Just to
Alrighty.
cover. It's 13.
So there are a plethora of magical cloaks that have been made by different peoples throughout King's history. There's not a lot of them that fit this specific description though. Cloaks that are white are usually seen as overly showy and are purely ceremonial. The silver stars perhaps could be meant to enhance its arcana magical appearance or something, but cloaks of changing appearance or cloaks of changing self, there are a few of them, but this must be a pretty powerful one if it does what he says it does.
So, look at him and say, and you've never thought of simply using it to investigate, well, further, out of sight, or even just leave outright.
If I did, it would cause far more problems down the line. Using such a wonderful gift too abundantly might simply draw too much attention to it. Such gifts should be used when only necessary. Restraint is paramount. You only use things at your disposal when they match the level of force needed. Start slow, start low. Escalate slowly. Make sure not to go too far. And as for leaving, I have no intention of leaving while the culprit is still within this very city. Well, I could investigate it without being caught. It would be suspicious, bad, and illicit. Should I just leave without permission? Should I leave without being seen? Should I ever be caught, I would immediately guilt myself upon the Templar's eyes. And of this I have no desire, for I have done nothing wrong. I do not intend to start.
Well,
Rolls Arcana. Silence. There is no magic in here.
I'll say.
So what do you... Yeah.
Well, I've talked to the other guests, and it seems like they're in the same situation as you at the moment. Is there anything you yourself can tell me about them?
Oh yes.
So, if you've investigated, you must have investigated them as well. I mean, obviously.
Oh yes, I've spoken with them at length. That gentleman over there. He's very skittish. Grimmer Dougal. The Dougal family. Merchant's family. He's skittish, bit neurotic. Seems bad with his money. But I'm not too sure on if it's all 100% genuine, personally. I do think he's hiding something, but I don't know what. But he's neurotic and anxious, fidgety, and shy. Doesn't seem to like to talk to other people very much. Got him to open up a little more with a few drinks, but he's not gotten drunk since. That man is to work strong stance. Strong stance family. He's here, as he'll tell anyone who asks, to mourn his brother properly. But if you ask any other questions of his brother, he'll shut you down. Dwarven pride. Believe there's something about keeping in the family. What say you, good chap? Oh, that's right. Dwarven business is dwarven business. Your personal drama stays in the family. Don't bother or burden other people with it. It's not proper. But I'd never not tell you anything if there was something wrong, love. We're family now. Not quite yet, but very soon. And it gets sooner by the day. Just for situations like those, then I still continue to investigate. You should be allowed to fawn over each other like that so openly, so carefree. But the man over there, Gerald McAllister, seems a poor, sad sap. Seems to have enlisted out of tradition and seems to have rather bad luck or have poor impulse control. He seems to forget himself as he gets a little too excited at times. I think sometimes on a border or the front lines would do him good. Whip him a little more into shape. Be as stuffy or coddled as these walls can make one. Some field action would do him well, personally. If he was under my command, I'd put him personally on the front lines. Right on the border. One of the risky ones. Have him there for 6 months. Bring him home after that. See what he learned. But he's very depressed right now, I believe. Seems to be beating himself up non-stop. Thinks he's ruined his chances for things, I think.
He does sound like a man who was present at the wrong time, the wrong place.
Whereas I was at the right place at the right time, squandered my opportunity. I do believe he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Grima is a merchant from Styrium. His wares, from what I've gathered, seem to be incredibly perishable, not by wasting, but by fragility. My first instinct is that his wares can be used for smuggling, personally.
Right, I mean...
Under my watch, I would have taken a few of his goods, bought them, smashed them, just to see if there was something in them.
Right, I did get a chance to see his inventory, or at least the list of it. And yes, there is indeed a lot of vases and cups and what have you that could easily conceal something. Though I would imagine the Templars would look through them, you know, before they confiscated the whole thing.
Most goods are confiscated in King's Landing. Until you've had your stall fully set up, they'll hold on to your goods for you, It's more under the guard of safekeeping than true confiscation. They make sure that nothing will happen to them, and if something does happen to them, King's Landing will personally recompensate you for the loss. And as soon as you request the goods back once you're ready to sell, they will give them to you. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's a safety measure more than anything. To keep your goods safe, and to make sure all the goods are kept in the same place until they're ready to be brought into the streets. Usually during that time, they analyze and look at them as well a little closely with magic and with a keen eye, while not tampering or messing with the goods in any way. But if the man has not been allowed to set up his stall, for I believe he's waiting for the ball, then his goods would still be at the holding area, one of the warehouses likely until that point.
Well, actually, I do believe he was allowed to set up a stall, but unfortunately, young McAllister was involved as well, and well, Templars got involved again.
I see. Most unfortunate. Though why would Templars get involved in his stall? I talked to him, but I think I scared the poor boy.
I wonder why.
And well, I've talked to him plenty today, so that's not my place to find out. But now, well, I think I'll enjoy the drinks and the rest of the evening. AKA, I've run out of things to say or do in his sleep.
You're good.
So, move on to somebody else. Okay.
See him give you a
Still
nod,
not done.
raise his drink again. May Tiamat's light shine upon you in your hours of darkness, and illuminate you with the stars of heaven.
And may Brigades do the same as you.
He nods and takes a drink. So Delon,
Mm-hmm.
Not on his date.
No. Yeah, I'm here.
What do you intend to do now?
Well, I was going to talk to the Ducal guy, ask him what his wares was.
Alrighty. So you make your way over to the Grimmer guy.
Mm-hmm.
So you make your way over. You find he's still sat at his table. His drink has a little more drink than before, but not a lot. And he's watching Victor and Gildos from all across the way, a bit suspiciously.
Mm-hmm. I guess I'll approach. Sorry, am I interrupting?
No, not at all, not at all. I was... do you wish to sit?
Oh, be so kind. Take a seat.
You see him kind of where if you sit like on the same part of the bench as him, he'll scoot
I'll sit
farther
across.
down, or if you sit across from him, he'll stay where he is.
Yeah, I'll just sit across.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Pardon my intrusion. I heard from the gentleman drinking himself into a stupor that you were a merchant. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes. I am Grimmer Dougal. I sell in fine chinas and beautiful glassworks, baubles and inns.
Oh, is that so? Actually, I've been been getting a bit interest. I do have access to your wares.
Yes, should I request them, I could have them sent to a stall where I could attempt to sell them.
Wonderful. Are they a stereo make, or were they made by yourself?
They are made of Asterium, master craftsman.
Oh,
He has a curio shop in the magic sales quarters.
um,
It's a tiefling.
a tiefling.
Very interesting fellow. Yes, he specializes in making magical jewelry.
Is that so? Well, based on his what we were talking of, he mentioned you sold things such as dragon eggs or bubbles and such. I was wondering if I could peruse your ware
I
or
could
inventory.
I could give you a. If you wait until perhaps tomorrow morning, I could introduce you to some of my wares. I need to make the arrangements with the Templars to acquire some of them again. If you wish to see my inventory list, though, I can show you what I have on hand in reserves.
Oh, that would certainly help.
He nods, and you see him flip a page on a journal, and then turn it around to you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You can see he has about like 200 like porcelain dolls, like 200 glass faces and glass little beautiful baubles that would sit on a shelf that you'd either put flowers or something else in.
Right.
He has a few ceramic pots that are mostly ornamental that would sit in like a sitting room or something.
Right.
And he has about 50 what are called jeweled dragon eggs.
No mention of a jewel, I take it.
No, the only thing is like the dragon eggs.
It does seem to be according with everything. You were certainly well supplied for the bowl coming up.
Yes. I brought only the best.
I care to take what intrigued me. What exactly is a dragon egg?
Oh, it's not a genuine dragon. It's not a real thing. No one knows what they look like. But that's why they're so popular, you see. They are a beautifully made glass and jeweled small little egg, one that sits on your shelf. About yay big, and he basically makes like about a foot tall or something like that at most.
Yeah, pretty small.
Some nobles have been known to put them at the centerpiece of their tables, or some have shelves of different makers who have made different ones, and some put them atop a fireplace. They're beautiful eggs, crafted of beautiful glass, painted, and some of them have jewels upon them. They shine and shimmer. Because nobody knows what a dragon egg is, all artists who craft them have a different interpretation of what they could look like, so they're also a collectible among certain noble circles.
Is it so? Pardon me, but the chap there seems to be an item missing from this inventory. I recall him mentioning something about a gem or something like, but I don't see it on this inventory list.
Not this again. I told him and I told the Templars I have no gems in my inventory. I'm tired of hearing of it. I have done no gems. There never was. I told them to check the crates. There was no gem in the crate.
Easy. I meant no disrespect.
I'm sorry. I've been asked about the gem many times. I do not sell in jewelry. I sell in glassworks, ceramics. The most jeweled thing I have is the dragon eggs, and they have small, tiny, beautiful gems, not a large gem in and of itself. Perhaps what he saw was one of my dragon eggs, and he, as he is just a farmer's son, perhaps he mistook it for a jewel.
Strange. He seemed very astute on that. He made a point to make it. I was curious myself. I had not heard of a vendor selling such an item, so I was curious. But if it's not in your inventory, I completely understand. But why would he think that it's inside of your inventory if that's not one of your wares? That seems strange.
I do not know. I know that when I hired him, it was about midday, and I know he had had a few drinks with some companions of his. Perhaps he was a bit inebriated while he was moving my merchandise, which I paid him, and he assured me there would be no problems. He was fully capable of facilities, and he was a soldier of King's Landing, so I just took his word at it, face value. They're trustworthy sorts, you know. And perhaps he was more inebriated than he let on, and he was not thinking clearly or seeing as clearly as he thought.
It can happen. You did probably catch him between shifts. But coin is coin, eh?
Oh yes, I paid him very well. 50 gold just to move a few carts around. I'm not very strong myself, and it would have taken me hours, and I wanted them to be ready by lunchtime, you see.
50 gold?
Oh yes. 50 gold just to move a few boxes worth of weighing about a few, maybe 100 or 200 pounds total, but not all at the same time. An hour's worth of work, maybe.
An hour's worth of work for 50 gold? Dear sir, that should be under your employ if you're paying that kind of money.
I don't pay quite that often, all the time. It's just I needed the boxes moved before lunch. I had overslept the night before, and if I missed the lunch, I would not be able to make a profit. So I was quite eager to spend a little money to make the money.
You never made it to... And... Did you make it to market in time?
Yes.
I hate to see all your wares held up.
My stall was ready to go. I was getting ready to go, and I saw a bunch of Templars coming in, all in a hubbub. I saw an old man, run out of a gnomish building, and I saw an old child running down the hallway, and everything was so afraid. And I was walking to my stall, and I just turned around and said, I don't want any trouble, and made my way back here. Went back to my room.
Strange.
By the time that I was able to return to my stall, the luncheon had passed, and I had missed my sales point. So it was 50 gold in the hole. Luckily, the Templars were more than happy to move my stall out again and move the stuff, and they reimbursed me the 50 gold, but
So all this happened even before lunchtime for you. And all of a sudden you were cornered with a bunch of Templars, and what's happened since?
Well, I've been quite discouraged to open up again. I was wanting to do it before as a bit of a eager. I desired to test my wares to see how they would sell with the people of King's Landing before I tried to sell them to the royals. You see, and I've decided that I would just simply make more money selling only to the royals. And since I've had such bad luck so far, I just want to chance it again. If I have some good luck coming around the corner, I don't want to spend it all in one place. Not unless I'm spending it selling to the royals, you know.
Aye. Especially since the balls are coming. Although, I've heard it's temporarily on hold. I was hoping it would be open by the time I arrived here with the Lord and Lady.
From what I've gathered, the lords are being petty and arguing amongst themselves. Something about, I want so-and-so, and the other's like, well, if that's what you're having, I won't attend, and, well, I won't go if he's not going, and you know how differing lords of large personality can be.
Yes, I'm sure. But that's quite a shame, though. Especially for someone who's come a long way to sell their wares. I do admire the attempt, though. I am sorry that this has occurred to you. It is a shame, especially all the old bubbles and things. How much do you even sell your items for, if I may ask?
Well, to be quite frank, it depends on the noble I'm talking to. Some of
Ah,
the
so
nobles
you
can,
adjust.
yes, exactly.
Similar to Lord and Lady when they're selling our silverware.
Yes, it's a very common practice for smaller merchants. Large merchants, they're quite comfortable. They've got a reputation already. They can sell their goods at a same price almost across the board. Sometimes they're lowered if they want to sell a bulk or sell
Hmm.
to a less profitable individual. Myself, if I say if I were to sell to the Lord of Nebulum himself, and for instance, I've heard he has a fine eye for beautiful trinkets. I would charge quite a large sum, I would say, 'cause I know he could afford it. If I, however, were to sell to a minor lord, say, let's see, what's a good one? There's this family, pretty decent King's Landing family, from what I've heard. I'm hoping one of them might be intent to sell to them. Gilliam Mays. I heard they have a son who's a good bard. He attends royal parties. I'm hoping he has an eye for fine things, beautiful things. I'm hoping if that bard chap is there, I could sell to him. They're a middle tier royal family, middle tier noble family, but so I'd lower the price, of course, make it a little more desirable.
I see. Well, if that's the person you're thinking of, I'm sure if there's any joyous occasion, they'll be there. Rest assured. I've heard his reputation precedes him.
I've heard he is very personable, an excellent chap, but he loves beautiful things, and his eye tends to wander. I hope that my beautiful wares can catch his wandering eye.
If your items are as they claim, I'm sure they will, as they caught mine.
The highest quality.
Of that I've no doubt, but let's see. Like Delon fumbles a bit with his items. I'm not sure how much money I would have on occasion. No, despite my interest, I won't be home for some time. And I'm sorry, chap. I don't know if I can afford these items. They seem so fragile and delicate, and I don't know if I'd be able to hold on to it in time to give it a proper rest. Perhaps another time.
But well, let's see here. Perhaps we could meet somewhere in the middle. If there's anything on here, the ceramic pots are cheaper. The porcelain dolls are one of my more popular items. They are mid-tier, not as cheap as ceramic pots. The beautiful glass baubles are one of my higher expensive inventories, and the dragon eggs are the most expensive. They're a limited commodity after all.
Aye.
What exactly's caught your attention?
Well, it's a little bit obvious, but of my visage, of course, the dragon egg caught my interest, but understanding what it is and my business, he gestures towards the bar. As we are a traveling company, I cannot guarantee such a delicate and beautiful work as such an item like that not coming into possible harm, and it would be a waste of my money, possibly, and the beautiful craft that went into it. It'd be a disaster.
Perhaps I could arrange to have it sent somewhere for you.
Yes, perhaps.
And what were you hoping to perhaps pay for this item? I can tell you what my contemporaries are selling them for is about 1,000 gold an egg. However, if you are you are a mercenary, so I think I might be willing to go down to about maybe 700 gold.
I'll have to double check my wares, see if I have enough for such a thing. A moment, maybe, while I consult my lord and lady.
Yes, please, take your time.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. And I'm sorry for all the hubbub. It seems quite difficult and if I may say so, it's a strange coincidence. The young chap drinking himself super new in the same situation. How odd is that?
I have no idea. I'm very unlucky, I say. This whole journey's been a right awful time. First, I had to travel through Nebulum because the mountain pass was blocked, and then I recently learned that I was swindled by perhaps highwaymen into being convinced that they were under a helpful armed guard. There were like 30 men. I was so eager. 30 men for just 500 gold. What a bargain. And they were so good at their job, so I even gave them some of my wares as an extra thank you for your hard work. Turns out I might have been swindled.
You is it? Ah, so you entered Nebulum and you paid them. Yes, I'm sorry to say, those were most likely bandits, and they were gesturing. Take some solace, though. Had you not paid them, they would have most likely confiscated your goods, and possibly you. So, if it makes you 500 gold is something that can be recoverable.
Yes, it's just... it's been an awful time so far.
If it makes you feel any better, we did come from that general area, and the highwaymen are all gone, likely taken care of by mercenary groups.
Well, that's good at least, though perhaps there's more of them that have resurfaced at some point. I've heard the mountain pass is back open, but, well, if only I was able to take it in the first place, but bit of a missed opportunity now, I'd say. Though once I travel again, I'll be traveling much lighter. I'll only have coin, and I think at that point I could take the mountain pass without worrying about the rocky, bumpy, uneven mountains damaging my goods.
Might I suggest, if you do so, perhaps find buy a coin from a gnomish dealer for a bag of holding. Might be able to hold your coins and wares and transfer it to your banks.
Oh yes, I intend at a certain point, once I've made my money here, to open an account at the Dwarvish Bank and, of course, purchase a bag of holding, and I intend to, once I've had so, send a letter to Lord of Mysterium that I wish to purchase my family's independence from our patron family.
Well then, I wish you luck, and I'll see if I have the money for such a offer.
Thank you.
Meantime, please enjoy yourself for what time you have.
Yes. Between you and me, though. You seem really personable. You're scarier in appearance, but you're much more well-mannered in personality than your traveling companion. He flashed a sword at me. I thought he was going to stab me right there at the spot. But it's because you seem quite personal that I feel like you should know these things, you know. I feel like the gentleman who left the Gnomish building might have been a thief. Might be a thief in the King's Landing's midst, and perhaps he stole something very important, you know?
A thief?
Well, he booked it right out of the Gnomish trading guild. Booked it right out. Like lightning.
Well, what did it look like?
I didn't get a good look. He had kept his hood up, and he was kind of short looking. Not as short as a gnome or a halfling, but a little short. He didn't see any beard or anything. I think he was quite young, maybe. Maybe some sort of kid or hooligan. But if that's the case, I wonder why the Templars haven't caught him yet. I'm assuming that... Well, this is all just silly, I know, but he booked it so fast. Only a guilty man runs so fast out the front door, and Templars show up right after and start asking questions. Have you seen anyone do what happened? Perhaps a thief stole something that was meant for a lord, and they're trying to recover it until this point? I don't know. It's silly. The Templars, they're much better than that, I know, but just, perhaps something like that did happen, I don't know.
What you saw, that's what you saw. Don't doubt yourself, and I do appreciate the warning, thank you. If that's the case, then I'm wondering, You say you didn't get a good look. They was pretty small, but they were quick, and they ran right out the front door. And your items and wares were nearby. Could it be that... Maybe the reason they're asking about that gem, perhaps that was a stash. You never know.
You think that a thief stashed something in my wares?
Hush,
he says that a little too loud.
Like, hush, hush. Like, Dylan's like, hush, hush, hush. I'm not accusing, I'm theorizing. So close by. if a thief wanted to get away, I've seen them be very crafty. Yes, if they were doing something easily, your wares were nearby. Box could have been slightly open. They had something. Place it gently there. You hire an individual, never seen any of your wares, move it around. They see something odd, but they just think it's part of you. And by the time that the Templars show up, and they chase after him, whoever was actually after comes back, grabs whatever they left behind, and then the Templars are now looking for something that was never quite there to begin with.
Ugh. How horrid. Such trickery. Such tomfoolery. Ugh.
Aye. But that's just a theory, of course. I'll leave you to your drink, but I do appreciate your time. You seem like a nice fellow. I hope your situation gets sorted for you.
Oh yes, thank you. And if you do come across the money and you could find something to hold on to it for you, I would be more than happy to sell it to you for about 700 gold, maybe.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sure it'll be very nice as a very nice mantelpiece.
Between you and me.
Mm.
If you ever get on hard times, such an item only goes up in value. For all, there's only 50 made. 50 of its kind.
50 of its kind. I see.
It is a good, solid investment, should you take care of it.
I understand. He gives him a wink, and I'll make my way over to, I guess the rest of everybody at this point.
Alrighty. Where would you like to sit at?
I will sit near Yorm and Eleanor and everybody else.
Alrighty. Oh, welcome. Yes,
Hello.
welcome.
Thank you, your lordship and your ladyship.
I think this is a quite nice establishment. People here are very kind. Won't you say so? Yes, I think we've been quite well received. I think coming to King's Landing was quite a good idea.
I told you as such.
Well, you know, I'd usually assume it's much more pricey. I've heard the
Well, in
reputation,
certain areas.
but you know.
Well, of course, in certain areas, but this one's a little off to the side, and seems like his lordship had a good eye for the area, and it seems to be panning out. Perhaps you should trust him a little bit more.
I don't know about that. Oh, come on. No, I wouldn't steer you wrong. But I can tell you can steer me anywhere.
More things. Actually, in fact, we've met pretty much everyone at this bar except for that lonesome fellow drinking by himself.
You see, Victor speak up and look down in your direction. He's holding his glass as he points in your direction with one finger. Oh, yes. That solemn fellow. He tends to sit alone. He enjoys his solemn company, I believe.
Is that so? How unfortunate.
One man's misfortune could be another man's fortune. Perhaps he enjoys his solitude.
I suppose so.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily he enjoys the solitude. More just wants a bit of respect.
I wonder. Delon actually will lean in and say, "Oh, before I forget, yeah, lordship and ladyship, could I get a slight advance on some of our coin in the future, since I was so kind enough to point us in this general direction?"
I think that's more than fair. Give me a small little advance, you know? He's been putting in a lot of work, keeping us safe, moving the cargo, setting up the stall, being the muscle, you know. And he did point to a real nice establishment. Recommended we come into King's Landing after all. Well, perhaps if we just don't make a habit of it.
Oh, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. That merchant over there is selling something quite wonderful, and I've been meaning to grab something of some kind for the trip home, but it's far too delicate. I've been meaning to, I'm hoping to place it, or give it to someone here, so that they can take it in more safe care than I.
I see. How much would you be wanting for it then?
Well, he said it was 700, but I think I can get him down to 650. It's a dragon egg. Beautiful like.
Those do hold their value. Just in case, here's 800. Try not to spend 800. See if you can get him down to that 650.
Thank you, your ladyship. You're a peach.
She is, ain't she? Sweet as a peach, but just a bit prickly.
Shouldn't enable your retainers like this.
Well, we're in
Oh, yeah.
King's Landing. You've been doing quite well. I don't see why not. And as long as they don't make a habit of it, and you don't make a habit of requesting it.
Dylan thinks about it for a second. We do need to actually add a game. We do need to talk to this dwarf guy because, as the story is so far, he's the missing link.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have an idea. It would be involving Yorm, but the guy said before he likes playing games. Specifically likes playing a specific game. I think one of us should play a game with him. See if he's up for it.
Cool.
I know.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Evan, don't you have to go?
Yeah, in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Rem, do you want to tag team it?
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah, it might be better to just do, rather than like a one-on-one game, like,
Yeah.
like multiple people.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, I'm just like, this is the kind of thing, but like, I just don't know what to do to kill this.
Got it.
I don't know. It's the kind of evidence I'm like, that's not the character for it.
All right. So I guess with that in mind, Delon's gonna turn to the bartender and goes, "Can you get can I get a bottle, please?"
Sure you can. What bottle of what there?
Well, he's like, well, he seems like a stalwart chap. What do you think, your lordship? What type is it?
Can't go wrong with dwarven ale. Got any dwarven ale? That I do.
Then I'll take one of that.
You've had dwarven ale you've been holding out on us. Get me one. So he puts 2 dwarven ales on the counter. And holds up 10 fingers. 10 gold each.
Delon is like, okay. He just goes in his own pocket. Deal. Right, let's see. He grabs his bottle and goes, walks over to Gildas. Gildas, how about a bit of a game with this chap over here?
Well, it would depend on the kind of game, but count me in.
Excellent.
Oh, you're playing a
There's
game?
something to-
What kind?
I heard from it's like the poor sod over there that it's like he likes to play a card game. He likes to play games of Holding. I haven't played that in quite some time.
Oh, I haven't played that in ages. Used to play it with the family. No, we didn't pay a wager or anything important. Just, who's buying next round? What do you say, love? Can I go play for old time's sake, eh? As long as you leave your coin pouch here. Of course. Notes in no safer hands. Iron grip. And he just places a coin pouch in, like, Eleanor's hand. Let's go.
Constant sighs from Eleanor.
Basically.
Alright. With that, Delon, I guess, approach with Co and Co. Excuse me.
Slowly looks
Alright.
up.
Sorry. Don't mean to be rude, but I was wondering if you wanted to join us at a bit of game.
Depends. What kind of game?
Well, I heard from the poor sod behind us you were pretty good at a game of cards.
I don't play with cheats.
Oh, come now. No cheats around here, just honest mercenaries. And our lord.
And I'm nothing but an honest dwarf. Well, if you're honest, I'll know when you start playing. You know the game? Dwarvish Pickup? Oh, I love that game! I've played it since I was a kid. I play with a 200 card deck. No counting. Wouldn't dream of it. See him reach into a traveler's bag on his like leaning against his chair. He takes out basically a deck of cards and he starts dealing. He also places some dice on the table. The name of the game is that some cards have greater value than others. Queens, highest values, second only surpassed by kings. Aces, ones, jacks, no values, but if you place a jack on a king or queen, it gives the king or queen negative value, so it cancels it out, makes it a 0.
Oh, so this is similar to King's Landing metrics, but a bit different in numbers. Okay, I see.
If you place the cards down on the table, you can build up your house, so to speak. If you get a good house, then you're able, and the house has bigger numbers than the other, you will win the round. If we tie the round, we defer to the dice. We roll the dice under our classes. And we bet and see who actually has who has bigger numbers. The name of that game is Charisma. You're not supposed to tell your exact numbers, though you could if you want to on the dice. The ultimate goal is to see if you can get the other to fold their dice. If your dice end up being bigger at the end of under the cup, you win that round, even if you tied. Aye, thanks for the refresher. It's a good game. You build your house of cards, your small kingdom, and if you get a jack, you could either you should. I highly recommend if you get a jack, you place it on someone's king or queen. The real tricky part is you don't have to do it all in the same person. Sometimes you could spread the jokers around, spread the jesters. It's as much a strategy game as it is a game of chance. You follow all that?
I think I got the gist.
Good. And your cards have
Fine.
been dealt. We'll draw 3 cards from the top of the deck. We'll take turns placing them, and on a new turn, we draw a new card at it. Alright. So he decides to go first. See him place an ace down for a 1.
So clockwise or counterclockwise?
Clockwise. So did 1.
So d20 plus 3.
Basically you roll your you roll like a sleight of hand check or something.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, he's just rolling d20 plus 3 for his.
That's fine. So 5. Pretty low.
Alright. So you got an ace as well. Yorm goes. Give me a moment to roll for Yorm. For your sheet, Yorm. Scroll up. Scroll up. There it is. Yorm places a king down.
Yeah, imagine having sleight of hand. Boom.
You place like a 2 or a 3 down.
Seems like the deck is favoring nobility at the moment.
He places a about like an 8 down. Tell me, what brings a bunch of mercenaries and a dwarf? No, clearly aren't from King's Landing to King's Landing.
Well, if I may say so, my lord, we're here to sell our wares. Well, your wares, I should say.
Oh, aye, we're here to sell me and the missus's. You know, beautiful lass right over there. Not my cup of tea. Oh, I understand that, but you know, I've been smitten the moment I saw. Fallen under that dazzle then. Unfortunate. Beautiful flowers can be quite toxic. Aye, but she's a rose. The only thing you have to worry about are them thorns. You could trim the thorns down if you wanted, make it a little more manageable, but you know what they say. Might shorten the lifespan of the flower. More into sunflowers myself. Good earthy plant.
Aye. And
Well
what
done.
brings you, my friend?
Yorm plays about a 10. Oh, you get a queen. You see the dwarf. He kind of gets like a faraway look as he just plays a 1.
It's like the same roll, like twice.
It's been pretty bad, yeah.
You're cheating.
Here to mourn me brother.
My condolences, then.
Sure, he'll appreciate it should I ever be able to properly send my farewells.
What do you mean? Surely, if he's here, like, that's King's Landing would have already documented where he is.
It's not in the city. just outside of it. Oh, you're doing that then? Hmm. It's a old dwarven tradition. You're not doing it at the burial site, you're doing it at the spot he died in.
Your lordship, what do you mean?
Well, don't mean to be presumptuous, my good sir, but I've done that myself before. Hey, my journey's finished soon. Family business is over with, so I could share it, But I respect if you don't feel comfortable. You don't know us. You're supposed to share it with basic people kin to family. Once it's been settled, you can actually talk about it. It's acceptable then. At least someone gets it. Myself, once tried to make a pilgrimage to the lands they were Renoldian lands at the time, but now they're Nebulum lands. There was a border dispute a few years back, but at the time they were Renoldian. And it's a very old tradition, so you go out and there's a different burial rite that happens when you properly bury a dwarf in the family. But there's an old school tradition where you go to the exact site they died at and you perform a very specific ritual to basically burn away all the impurities right down to the stone. And it makes the stone, you mark the stone forever. It's it's a different kind of a mark, Weather's storms, weather's the weather, but maybe every few hundred years you should go back and redo it again,
I didn't know you were on a journey, your lordship.
Not anymore, but it's a long time ago. I was a younger lad. I had an older brother once. He was many years my senior, but, Sometimes, if it's already been marked when you're going back again, it could be harder to mark it again the next time.
That's so. You do it more than once.
Some dwarves do it every few hundred years, some do it every decade or every 30, 50. Personal preference. How important they were to you. How well you did it the first time. How much you want that mark to keep forever.
And well, you seem to be quite a solemn fellow. So again, I'm sorry for your loss. I can't imagine the feeling. But I'm sure they are happy that you think of them so much.
When it's my turn to return to the earth, I'm sure he'll welcome me into the halls of the Mountain Lords.
I'm sure.
To see the halls of the Mountain Kings. And dine at the table of the kings of the mountain. To drink with the mountain boys.
I just totally imagine Yorm having like a far off look.
You just see Yorm actually drink some dwarven ale. Aye. All dwarves would love to do such things. If you're so lucky to be welcomed at their table in death. Delon, you get a like a 9 again.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not even counting, if I'm being honest.
You're good.
Let's see. How can we kind of get his way? Delon actually will take the bottle out and goes, in that case, perhaps a toast then. Commemoration of sorts.
I could drink to that. Oh, aye, same. What you say, you Gerald?
Who?
Aren't you going
You.
by the name Gerald? Or
No.
something similar? What was it, Jerome?
Jonas.
Jonas, that's it.
Jonas.
I know it was a
Jonas.
J sound.
Yeah,
That's
Jonas.
it. What say you, Jonas? There we go.
Oh, make that 4, of course.
You see Doric raise his drink, and he just drinks it straight from the bottle. He's only drinking Dwarven Ale.
Ah.
You see as Yorm does the same.
Yeah, I guess we'll do as well.
Dwarven Ale is strong, potent. It's one of those like it's kind of like a lager where it's like a hearty kind of a beer.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of flavor.
Yeah. That gets me to thinking then. Why the Templar why aren't anybody letting you through then? If he's outside the city, why can't you finish your business then?
He gets a queen. She gets a king.
I mean, at that point, he should probably, it's like 21, 22.
Yeah, he got a king with a 20. So, after that, he finally, like, stops playing cards, and he basically, he begins counting. He doesn't seem overly concerned with who's winning, as there's been no agreement of money beforehand, so it's just playing for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Them damn Templars. They're supposed to be guardians, but they're getting in the way. Respect what they do, but don't respect what I'm doing. That's the problem. Respect's one-sided. Oh, that's the worst. Any relationship or anything you're forced to deal with doesn't respect you at all is just no, not worth your time, honestly. Exactly. Templars don't respect what I'm doing for my brother. They choose to question me. They ask to assist, but they don't understand that it's not their job to help. They question why I bring explosives into the city. It's not enough to cause any problems, just enough to scorch the earth. Not even enough to bear a hole into a wall. Just leave a mark upon it. How are they impeding you? You should ask to talk to their supervisors. Talk to their barracks operator, their commander. Take it up top. That's what I did back in the day. I choose not to do so to keep this all quiet. Don't want to make a scene. It's improper. But I am reaching the point where I am very close to doing so.
Alright. I agree with my lordship. I would have gone much sooner, especially if it had something to do with family. Surely there must be a
Private.
reason.
The place that I need to go to is outside of King's Landing, at an old spot. But it's in the country here, you see, countryside. But they seem to be having a problem. I've seen it before. Some sort of criminal act happened, and they're wondering why I'm here. And my unhelpfulness makes them suspicious. So they don't want to help. Not really.
What sort of crime?
That I don't know. But there wouldn't have been roughly 10 Templars flooding the market square at the same time if there wasn't a crime.
Fair enough.
One Templar should have sufficed to simply ask a few questions to settle the peace. 10 Templars showed up in the market square. Something is amiss. Something stinks in this city, and I don't know what. But I know it's none of my business. Surely you've heard something, then. This sounds dangerous. Want to know, just in case, protect me and the missus. I can respect that. I'm hoping to get out of here soon, but people love to talk around here. Very open. I miss the cold winds of the south. I miss those mountains. I miss the taverns there. These taverns were so pretty. I may be from Gloucester, but I miss going south to Reynolds. Oh, you're a Reynoldian dwarf? What strong stance? That does sound about right. I'm Gloucester by marriage, not by birth. Gloucester's too warm for me. The tavern's too amicable. I miss the brawls of the taverns back home. I miss the cut of that ale. Miss the vodka. I miss stepping out into the morning shirtless at the farmstead, feeling the cold wind as it licks my skin.
Yeah, so this is that, your country just just take a full swing of the dwarven ale, but not saying anything, because technically it's not a Reynoldian at the time. King's Landing is Reynoldian by birth, but
any rumors though? Right. Rumors. Don't like rumors. They're talky. But I've heard people talking about some sort of maybe a magic gem that Sap cries about it if you let him drink long enough. There was a gem. I know there was. That chap over there. He's frankly yelled at the Templars. There wasn't a gem! So something probably happened with the gem. And that fellow over there, really amicable. I usually write him off as just another soft-bellied. But his belly is steel, and his eyes like daggers. I can respect that. He seems curious about some cloaked, hooded fellow. Heard something about an old man, maybe, or a young, short fellow. A fast, short fellow, tall old man with rings on his fingers. I was in the market square at that time, though. I was resupplying because my powder had been... Somebody took it, and I don't know who. So I had to resupply. And while I was there, I saw an elderly fellow in a maroon cloak walk into the gnomish building. Strange thing is that a young fellow sprinted out the front door about 10 minutes later. Disappeared into the crowd. Lost sight of them. Something quick. Same maroon cloak, though. What direction he heading? Headed towards the residential sector, where the taverns were. This tavern's kind of tucked away, but it's in the residential section too. Telling this to the Templars? The Templars, they saw it all already. And if they didn't, they were disrespectful. Why should I help them? They're disrespecting me by offering help. He says that, he just raises a drink again, drinks it from the bottle.
Just to clarify, what exactly did he say? So he's saying, guy ran out, saw you in person. There was a guy with a purple cloak.
Someone with a maroon cloak went inside the gnomish building. They looked old though, but a young, short person with a maroon cloak, sprinted out about 10 minutes later. Almost as soon as they sprinted out, the Templars came rushing in. And he said that the person in the maroon cloak ran towards the residential section, where a lot of people rest in taverns. Which, this tavern's also in that section.
Right. Didn't Victor Fatoni say he hires, like, at least kids, basically?
He has
spying.
used them as listeners and stuff before.
Yeah, so... I think... And he didn't tell the Templars any of this, basically, that there were moon cloaks, basically.
No, Doric didn't. He basically admitted out of like dwarven pride and spite, he just didn't because they were rude.
Nah. Dick. I understand. Rinaldian dwarf, so even worse.
He did say though that the old man that walked into the gnomish building also had rings on his fingers.
Rings on his fingers. And the one that we're looking for had a platinum ring on one finger as well.
Yes.
I don't see anyone who has any platinum rings, by the way.
No, the only one with a ring that you've seen is Victor, but his is more like a silver ring with a symbol of Tiamat, and as well as a symbol that is the Inquisitor symbol on it.
So I guess the
Gerald wears gloves. Doric does. Doric doesn't. His hands are rough and coarse, and Grimmer wears gloves.
Okay. I guess the line will not speak up. You didn't let the Templars know at all. If it's the way they keep... Is it... No offense, that might be why they're so suspicious of you, my friend.
Their suspicion is their own. I know I've done nothing. And they've been rude, disrespectful.
You've also not clarified anything else. No offense. So, and Delan just kind of shrugs, taking another swig. So, from that point of view, I don't blame him.
You don't have to. I blame him enough for the lot of us.
Delan kind of glances to Yorm, like,
Think there might have been something with that maroon feller. Old man walks in, young person runs out, lightning quick, disappears mingling into the crowd. They find an old man in the building? When they barged in and looked in, the only old man was that Victor fellow apparently in the back alley. But that was in the opposite direction from where the maroon figure ran. He said he had rings on his fingers? Aye. Only person with a ring on the finger is that Victor fellow, right?
I mean,
Was a different
I
ring
guess.
on a different finger. Victor wears his on his ring finger. This fellow wore it on his pinky. One on each hand. So casters do that sometimes, don't they? They can do a focus. I wouldn't know. Then a drop of magic runs through my veins.
I mean, you would know a little bit of that, wouldn't you, your lordship?
I know a little bit of a dabble here and there, you know. So we're looking for a caster then. I'm looking for no one. But if you're looking to keep an eye out to keep yourself and your lady safe, you're likely looking for a caster. One who is good at hiding themselves and can change what they look like. Who likely is as cowardly enough to run and hide and instantly disappear like a Nepalese cur.
Tulio. At you.
So maybe they magically changed themselves? Perhaps. Could be they were neither a short young fellow or an old fellow to begin with. It was something in between. The old fellow was tall, too. hunched back, wrinkles, bony hands. Young fellow short, quick and nimble. Just a head taller than a halfling. Go ahead, any other questions? Gildos, still on?
I don't have no idea what to ask him. Like, I'm sorry, but it's like the details in this is like. So, what we know so far.
Go ahead.
Nobody saw anything really go in. The people who did see, they saw a young person running through. We found out that allegedly they were wearing a maroon cloak. So was the elderly person also going into. They had the multiple things on their rings on their fingers, but not the same in the vicinity. The kid that ran away had a platinum ring on their finger. There was a gem in the inventory at one point. Guard said guy lifting it said he was. Guy in the selling it said there was no gem in his inventory. And then when the Templars looked to search the wares, they didn't find it. So any one of these people could have easily just been part of this. Or I'm starting to suspect that none of them are. It's either or at this point.
So some other details that I can remember to tell you is that Darius said that the gnomes said an old man sold the item that caused the problem. He was trying to buy it from them, kind of a thing. It was an old man who'd come in, and when they said that they didn't want to sell it to him, suddenly there was a hubbub outside, and when the gnomes turned back around, the old man was gone. When the Templars came in, there was no old man in the building at all. But Darius did also tell you that you might be looking for an old man with a platinum ring who wore a cloak. Let's see. The dwarf just said that he saw a old man in a maroon cloak walk into the gnomish building, and then shortly after, about 10 minutes later, a young fellow ran out, but it was also wearing a maroon cloak. He ran to the residential section and disappeared. The Templars apparently found no old man or young person at the scene. The only old person they found was Victor.
Yeah, so basically, that person had, like, the only connection I'm making is, person perceived himself to be old, then changed that he can change himself, either by magic or whatever, and then ran as a different appearance, but can't change the clothing. So it was the same item, but now in a different form, or his real form, maybe.
Victor said that Victor showed Gillis that he has a cloak, but it seems to be able to change yourself, clothing and appearance.
Yeah.
But once the cloak is removed, your real self will be revealed no matter what.
Yeah.
Gerald said that he was moving crates so that the magic dude could sell his glasswares.
Yeah.
And he was surprised there was a gemstone inside, but the Templars never found a gemstone. Gerald, the mage dude, says he didn't have one. He didn't have one in his wares to begin with. I think Gildos noticed that the magic dude had invisible script or something on his book that was just kind of there, but he couldn't read.
That was Bub.
Oh, Bub noticed that. Yeah, Bub noticed that.
It was his fairy that noticed it.
Right. Let's see here. The magic dude said that he was coming to the stall now that he knew it had been set up, but he hadn't fully reached the stall when a bunch of Templars ran in, and he basically turned around and went back to the tavern, back to his room, because he didn't want any trouble. Darius said that when the whole thing happened, the wizard was in his said he was in his room, relaxing when the whole thing was happening, but he was just a few streets over.
Okay. So that means the guy who's the mage here, he has a room in this tavern specifically, right?
Yes.
Upstairs. I think it's time that we like unlock some doors and keep people busy.
Sounds good.
Because we need, at this point, we've investigated and no one's, I think, I don't know if you agree, Rem, but I think at this point, we've kind of reached the consensus of, all right, someone has magic and someone has magical stuff. We need proof of what they have in that room. And the only way we're going to do that is if we can, I'm theorizing that, oh, one of these guests is just locked up, tied up in a room somewhere, and they're pretending to be that person until this blows over. Or they're dead. What do you think, Rem? I don't know.
I have no fucking idea, honestly, because I'm like,
Okay.
you know,
So,
we got like all this fucking like testimonies. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
This does not help me in any way.
Yeah.
It's like, honestly, if like any information we've had like was of worth outside of the crystal thing, like inventory thing,
So,
would have said something by now.
Darius
Yeah.
did also tell you, when you first accepted the quest, that the item that was the thing that seemed to cause the problem was a crystal that the gnomes had, that someone else had sold to them before the event had transpired.
yeah.
Because honestly,
Mhm.
what I could do, just say fuck it, cast detect magic, and go through the tavern, right in front of everybody. I will blow my cover.
I mean, you
So-
could. Maybe do it upstairs and then detect
Yeah.
magic and then see in the rooms detecting magic and then just Delon can distract everybody. And because using my charisma and stuff, I can start playing music or start doing stuff, and that'll be a noise enough to distract. And then
If you also wanted, you could have Yorm keep the dwarf distracted, and which would Yorm's pretty charismatic. He could probably keep several of the people down here a little occupied with some stories, while you both went upstairs.
That's true. Yeah, we could do that, and then have Bub down here as backup. Just in
You
case.
know, the
Yeah.
card game isn't going anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
At this point, so.
Yeah, we've pretty much got all the information out of the dwarf as possible. I can't think of any other question that would seem, without blowing my cover, I can't give a reason of what else Delon could ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would basically be information that why the hell would you know that? And he's been very close knit. The only thing I can ask would be like, did you see that? Is like it would be like redundant information or confirmation, and a lot of the information we've gained from people has been mostly redundant. So it's like, okay.
Well, they
At this
all were
point-
there at the scene, but they all have.
Correct.
Most of the details have been consistent, but there's been a
Yeah.
handful of details that have either been
Right.
slightly different, or
Right.
have been like somebody didn't mention that detail.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Exactly. And to me, honestly, I'm just gonna be honest. The dwarf guy didn't do it. He just doesn't have any motive to do so. And if he did, okay.
Oh, and the dwarf also mentioned somebody stole his explosive powder, so he had to buy more.
So, all right. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for explosive power and we're looking for magic. And also, with the time comes, Delon will just like remove the illusionary to dissuade the illusionary script on that thing, because you know, or Eleanor. It's like, okay, just remove it. I'm done playing.
Yeah.
I think the time is now of action, and I can see Delon's gonna just go to look to. I'm gonna get more. Is it gonna be your lordship? Come with me.
Alrighty. Thanks for letting us play with you. It was enjoyable.
Thank you, sir.
Right, thank you. Let me
I
start you
shuffled
for
the
a
deck,
moment.
so I knew you didn't cheat. Beginner's luck.
Hi. So as we make our way back to the counter, Delon is just gonna whisper, "We've interviewed everyone here. There's no point. It's like no point in doing it anymore. Yorm, I need you to make a distraction here. Try to distract people down here. Gildas, you and I, we're going upstairs. You can detect magic, correct?
I nod.
Okay, we're going upstairs. Check it. You, Eleanor, and Sir Bob. Keep everyone occupied down here. Make noise. Have a jolly good time. Any expense, I don't care. Do what you gotta do.
That I
Just
can
make
do,
sure.
Delon.
Thank you." And Delon grabs his shoulder. Haha, yo. He's like, "Lord, you cracked me up." Get a couple. He's like, I should double check
That's a
upstairs.
ton of a joke I can only tell amongst men. Excuse me. Not nothing. It was all good fun. I promise you. Really? Oh, come now. You wouldn't hazard an old dwarf with sharing a private man's joke with his male soldierly friends, would you? Actually, no. Women say much worse in their circles, so it's quite all right. Oh, thank you, love. Now, come here, Snacks. Come here. Yes. All right, Snacks. I want you to get on that table. I want you to do that thing I like. The thing you like? You know the thing. The thing. Okay. Come on, I'm waiting.
Well, while you have a jolly good time, I'll unfortunately retire to my chambers, as I am starting to see my lady in double. And
He's like, "A little too much drink, my friend. I'll help you
well,
upstairs. Make sure you get there in the right place."
I mean, it's not a bad view. It's just that that's something I should do on the job.
Alright.
To
We'll
go
be back
a
down
bit.
shortly, your ladyship.
It's quite alright. Just make sure that you take care of yourselves. If you need to retire for the night, it should be fine. Just
Thank
make
you.
sure that you're alright in the morning.
Yes, ma'am. We're upstairs then at this point. What is Snacks doing?
As you go upstairs, you see Yorm is
That is a
tossing
natural 20.
You see Yorm tossing bottles to Stacks, and Stacks is just juggling them while interwoven with the juggling are daggers. Stacks is unused to this training. Nonsense! Here's the thing I like. Go ahead and keep it up, Snacks. Here's another one.
Yeah, at this point, and then just we get upstairs. It's like, alright, detect magic.
Alright, when you get to the second floor, you do know that there are a handful of rooms up here. This is where everyone retires for the evening. You do know which rooms, because the Templars basically gave you a floor plan, you know which rooms everyone's staying at, so you could find them real easy. You were also given secret master keys to unlock the doors, without needing to break the locks.
Well, there's magic on the lock, but yeah.
You could still do that if you wanted.
But yeah, well, let's just check the room the guests are in. If there's like any empty room in between, then I'll just like pass by them, like check. I mean, it's a 30 feet, like around, so like pretty much do like half a floor already.
Yeah.
Just that.
As you begin walking around with detect magic, Gildas, let's see. Let me see here real quick. Let me read that spell specifically. 30 feet. If you sense magic in a way, you can use your action to see a faint aura in any visible creatures and object in the area. If you learn it as infinite, you can penetrate most barriers, but it blocks by 1 feet of stone, 1 inch of common tunnel, a thin sheet of lead, and 3 feet of wood and dirt. Okay. So just Okay, so it says you can sense it, but I guess if you're wanting to outline or find out more about it, you probably it would have to make the save then. Okay, I assume.
I don't know. It's a save, but like I think pretty much like all like fucking spells have like a save thing. Like even Shield of Faith has a save.
Okay.
So
So yeah,
yeah,
it
it's
should be
just
fine then.
generic. Besides, the spell save is like wrong because like he's supposed to be 15, not 14.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's fine then. So as you're
Yeah.
walking around, you can sense
Basically, just has a metal
that-
detector.
Let's see. You can use your action to sense a faint aura on any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn the school of magic if any, and you learn its school if any. The spell can. Okay. Your friend's present. Okay, so one of the rooms actually does have a magic thing on it. It is Grimmer Dougal's room.
Yeah.
On the doorknob seems to be some sort of magical effect.
What
Mhm.
kind?
Let me look up what school the spell is from.
School of Hard Knocks. That should have gotten a better laugh. That was a Dora reference and the school. How dare you?
I liked it. I was just also looking at reading something at the time. It is an abjuration spell. You also know that it was a ritual.
So hold on.
You could make an
Finish
Arcana
the
roll
mission.
if you wanted, as well.
Yeah.
Roll fizzle
First of
beef.
all, hold on. I need to check something first about the laws. Cause like I know we're allowed like
Up to second
certain
level.
amount up to second level only. No.
He-
I think you have the amateur license.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm mature is like.
it's like
at least
second or
third
third.
level.
Let me scroll up real quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. So much fucking pictures.
So many memes. It's fine. Beginner magic. So beginner magic license costs 10k gold. Hold up. I just had it.
I feel like
Scroll
it should
down.
be like somewhere in the handouts.
And I'll put it there in a bit.
Yeah.
Some easy. Okay, mobile's being stupid. It went too far up, I think. Why you gotta make my thing so
It's okay, I found it.
complicated?
Yeah, mature is up to third level.
Yeah, I thought so. Up to second and third level, yeah. It's up to third, yeah.
But can you give the system an upcast a third level spell?
Can you what?
Game the system. Like,
If
you're
you were to
casting a
use a
third
spell
level
slot
spell,
above
not
third
cast-
level, it would probably tick the box of like, what? You do have a license for that? You know?
Mhm.
Yeah, but like honestly, I don't care about like what kind of spell it is. But like, it's clear, like this man has been nervous. It's like he's got something to hide. So, yeah, okay.
Dispel magic. Alright. Choose one creature under magic spell within any spell of third level or lower on target ends. For each spell of fourth level or another, target make an ability check using your spell. Okay. You feel the spell effect end.
Then, let's do the land say. There was a spell on the doorknob. It's gone now. So,
Hmm. Now we
what
better
do you
work
think about
fast.
checking the room? Yeah.
Aye. Don't know why I'm here at this point. Don't know if we'll use one of the master keys just to open it.
Alright. As you open it, you find that it is a fairly simple room with that has basically a chest, like a little traveler's like lock chest, if you will, like sitting at the foot of the bed. There is a wardrobe that is currently hanging open, has several different cloaks inside of it. There's a painting that looks like a painting of Grimmer Dougal right above the bed. So it's a self-portrait of some sort, and you can see on a little table, like a little study table in the near the window, which has a good view of the market square. There is a candle which looks like it's been burned into the late evening on multiple occasions, and most of the ink's been used in the quills.
Aside from the self-referential painting, I don't see anything out of the ordinary yet.
Let's see. Concentration. Okay.
Could probably. Well, yeah, right. I mean, if it's concentration, I don't need to end it because it's spell magic. Right about that.
Exactly. Dispel magic is instantaneous.
Yeah.
Detect magic is concentration. It's still up actually. Geldas,
Okay.
in the room, there is another magical effect on the lockbox at the foot of the bed. The painting seems magical, and one of the cloaks in the wardrobe seems magical.
Well, first of all, yeah, let's examine the cloak first
Yeah.
before doing anything else. So I'll approach the cloak and beep, beep. Another 13.
Arcana.
The cloak seems to be under some sort of illusionary spell.
Uh-huh.
It looks like a simple brown cloak, similar with all the others.
I mean, maroon is close enough to brown, I guess. But let's see. So I say there was lockbox and the painting. So what kind of magic are on both of them? I would assume the lockbox is gonna be abjuration again.
Yeah, the lockbox is abjuration. The painting is transmutation.
Oh.
Well, I'm lucky because I have like 3 level 3 slot still.
Yeah.
So I can actually dispel magic on all of them.
Yeah, you could.
So I will do so.
Super useful, my dude.
Alright, so you cast Dispel Magic. Which ones are you doing first?
Cloak probably before anything else. Make sure.
Yeah, let's do it in like the order. So cloak, then like lockbox, and then like painting.
Alright, so cloak. Alright, so as you cast it on the cloak, it goes from brown to maroon to red, crimson red.
Oh shit. Okay. The line just takes like one look at Gildas.
Well, one cat's out of the bag. Let's see what else we can find. Well, the lockbox. Get me that glyph of warding away. Look, man, I got it in my spell list, so I know what it does.
Come on. Wrap it up, B.
It could be something else, but you know.
It was a mimic. He had a mimic. I would expect a Red Magus just to not play any games to be like, yes, I have a little mini mimic chest just in case. That's how you solve thieves. They just die and
Marshall
get
was
eaten.
dead.
No, I'm reading real quick. Hold on. I need to figure out something very specific.
Uh-huh.
Alright. So... Oh, specific... Third level or lower. You feel a magical effect on lockbox end. But the lockbox itself now feels magical.
What kind of magic?
Let's see.
Teleportation.
Transmutation.
Again? Well, if it's transmutation, though, so be it. But let's do the painting before you know actually open it.
Yeah.
Opening the thing, because like maybe the painting will give some clue as to what's up with the box.
Alright, so you do it on the painting. This one actually needs a save.
Well, technically it's me who has to roll it, I think.
Oh, you have to roll? Ancestral...
Yeah, because he's challenging
goes-
his
Oh, okay,
magic
okay.
on it itself, so the player needs to make the roll any higher than that.
Okay,
So
cool. So the
I
DC
need
equals
to
10
roll-
plus the spell's level, okay.
Yeah, so only my spellcasting ability, so no proficiency bonus on that, right? So,
Choosing one creature, object, or magic, any throw. On a higher, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. The DC equals
Yeah.
plus 10 to the spell's level, so it does count it as an ability check using your spellcasting ability only.
yeah, it's just, no proficiency, so.
Yeah. Good luck, bro.
Shit, I don't have the crown on me, do I? No.
I mean, why not?
I mean,
Like,
it's
why would you
mostly
not?
just like a silver circlet. It looks unassuming the most.
Yeah, why would you
Yeah.
have it?
It's just, it's a matter of a plus one not.
I mean,
If
to
you
be
wanted
fair,
to bring it with you, you could have. It's
Yeah.
like, it
I
could have
always-
just been ornamental to most.
I honestly consider it's like, yeah, I always consider you always have it on at all times. It's such a simple circlet that you always have it. I think you,
That's
yeah,
a
nice man.
roll.
That's a pretty nice roll. Yeah.
It's just this, 5th level.
Alright.
Before it's like 7th level or some shit.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Okay, so you do feel a great amount of resistance, but eventually, the painting seems to begin dripping blood from the canvas.
Huh.
If you get closer, the painting feels warm. Even if you don't get to the touch, it's kind of like it's like the warmth, like if you were to get close to like a small, like a fireplace or a source of warmth, it's like it gives off a small bit of warmth. And then the painting is also now bleeding from the canvas, notably from his self-portrait's chest.
Uh-huh.
His eyes have also closed, while they were open in the painting.
So. Well, that I'm not. Maybe I'm just reading too much into that painting, but that was a self-portrait. But this is the true canvas.
Aye.
We have a dead man on it. That might
We
just be-
do.
Mhm.
Appears our Grim MacDougal is not the man he has claimed himself to be. What's inside the chest?
Well, let's find out. Now, let's see. Hold on, let me take a look at my spell, see like how I could go at it without like endangering me myself too much. Yeah, well, I don't have much, so
You always have magic hands.
yeah, right, yeah, I do have a mage hand.
Yeah,
That's, like,
you can just
one
like step
card.
away and just magic hand that shit.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So Marshall, let's
Mhm.
open it with mage hand from afar.
Alright. Nice, very clever, actually.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I would
Go-
do in any situation if I had it.
go ahead and go ahead and cast Mage Hand real quick.
Yeah. Mage hand.
So, as you unlock, like flip the lock open and kind of lift up the chest with Mage Hand, you suddenly see a tongue stick out from the chest, teeth, and it lunges forwards on instinct.
Told you! I told you!
Uh-huh.
Alright, switch to battle music. We gotta fight this.
A good thing I still have my spells and like a sword.
Yeah. I brought my
You each
shit.
are allowed to have one like weapon, probably more simple than your standard gear, and whatever else you came in. You're not wearing your armor, probably.
No.
No. But
Do I have
like
the do I have the Sword of Echoes?
I'd say you probably have a long sword or something instead.
Okay,
Sword of
that's
Echoes
fine. I just
kind
have a
of
regular
like
long
an
sword. It's all
identity
good.
piece. Yeah.
That's fine.
like I got the lizard man, the long sword, it's like being
Yeah.
inventory, just never stand out. It's like I'm never gonna use it anyway.
I love this music, by the way.
Thank you. Alrighty.
Just in case. No. Usual.
Go ahead and roll initiative.
Got it.
Alrighty.
Let me roll initiative while clicking on my.
Yeah, I'm gonna add Gildos to the turn order real quick. Oh, they're there now. Now they're there. There we go. Alrighty. So at the top of the round is... Whoa, a lot of shit just popped up on my end. Lame. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. That's better. Top of the round is Delon. So there is a chest chest mimic standing in front of you. It is growling in your direction, drooling, and seemingly looking at you with hunger.
I never asked, but like, how big is the chest?
It is let's
It's
see.
like the size of a dog.
It is a little bigger than a dog. It's as if the size of like a...
Is it like a trunk chest?
It's a trunk chest, yeah. It's like about the
Okay.
size of like a
Oh.
Great Dane. Or
Yeah,
like
no, we thought
something
it was
like that.
smaller than that, and I'm like, mini.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
so
like you said the lockbox. I was thinking, you know, a small thing you can like hold.
Sorry,
like,
no,
one
I meant, it
hand.
was at the foot of the bed. It was like, it was meant like,
Yeah, like one of those
like one
foot
you'd like,
trunk boxes.
like a big old trunk you'd put on a train or something kind of a thing.
Okay,
It's like
yeah,
more
yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
that's-
that's why I was like, mimic. It's a mimic. I would totally mimic if I was. I would totally mimic. That would solve any thief problem if I didn't give a shit. I would have a pet mimic. All right, so Delon is gonna just I'm gonna let it come to me. So I'm actually gonna use Eldritch Blast.
All right, roll it.
I don't know.
All right, that's a hit.
Yep, cool. So it takes 18, 2 9s, baby. It takes 18 radiant, almost max damage.
So you fire, you extend your hand.
Excelsior!
And you Excelsior! Fire your Radiant Eldritch Blast at this this mimic, and you just see it kind of like reel, and it like the top of its like trunk just reels back, and then slam, 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 slam. It slams back, like biting its own tongue several times.
Mhm.
It just licks its chesty, like wooden chest lips, so to speak, so it still wants to get to you. Gildos.
Yeah, well, hey, the chest is made of wood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. So, yeah, I'm you know, do the old cast Searing Smite. It was level 2.
Smart move, yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, yeah, you know, you cast that on my Lizard Longsword. It's in grip it two-handed and attack. Nope.
Alright. Ooh, that's max damage on the longsword part.
It is actually.
Yeah.
Let's see,
Lizard
now
sword,
it's- looks like
12 bludgeoning.
That's
Max. Delon and Gildas are tired of the investigation. Time to fight.
All right, so you see, you cut into it, and you just like cleave a chunk of the wooden chest off. You actually see that the wood is only on the outside. The inside of the chest seems to be fleshy, and it bleeds like sap.
Hey, it's still gonna burn anyway. Well,
And then you also see that it does burn, and it seems to begin to burn a little on the inside, but it sucks its tongue in, licks all around inside of itself, and seems to put itself out. Alright. Let's see here. Please. Leave even an 11 on armor doesn't hit you guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
so consider Constitution save. Start of the turn.
It succeeded.
And it doesn't show.
It's a mimic, of course it has
believe
good
you.
con.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. Alright,
Well, I mean, yeah, hold on.
yeah, hold on. Wait a minute.
No, it's fine.
So you see as it rushes forwards, and it goes to try to take a bite out of you, trying to grab you with its tongue and bite you at the same time. Specifically you, Gildos, you heard it more. But it's a slow, wobbling chest that's like been cut a little bit in half. It's having a very hard time getting to you. You could just kind of like move out of the way. Delon.
I ain't gonna play no more. I'm doing no miss. I'm using one of my breath weapon attacks.
All right.
Burn the
Guarantee
whole
hit.
town down.
Don't
What?
worry, it's radiant. It's not actually fire.
It's okay, you'll see some fire.
Don't burn the tavern down, Gildos.
So it needs to make a DC save.
Deck save. It's bad at those. Okay. All right. So how do you want to kill it?
Oh shit.
It's already dead.
Yup.
Damn.
It's already been- Yeah, I
Didn't
know.
have much hit points.
I watched this
Okay.
Koshi radiate.
Aw. So
Oh, wow.
Delon, in quick moment, creates a radiant breath and sends out an erupting blast that like probably smashes the top of its head off. Finally.
All right. So you see as when the top part of the trunk flies off, it starts to decompose into sap and like rotten wood. The rest of the trunk falls down and just slumps, and you see it like slowly come apart as if it was made of shoddy craftsmanship from the beginning. And you see a few well-wrapped items just kind of like sitting inside.
Delon, I guess Gildas will approach and like keep poking the thing, making sure it's dead.
It's super dead.
That'll be. Yeah.
Okay.
Now then, let's see what was inside.
By my stars, I never thought I'd actually see one of these creatures. Always read about them.
All right.
She
So as
knew
you
about
look at,
them.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Alrighty. So as you look at the items inside, you find one of the glass dragon eggs is sitting
Mhm.
inside it. So is a what seems to be a silver ring. Gildas, see, did you cast a different concentration spell?
Searing Smite.
Searing Smite is? Okay.
I mean, I kind of yelled, like, singing out, like, there were items, like, I was going to, like, cast Detect Magic again. So, like, but
If you want to do that right now, you could, before I continue.
yeah. Let's do that. I mean, I
Alright.
know, it's like, yeah, it's a silver ring, but it's actually,
Silver ring is magical.
but no.
Illusion spell.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon egg, seems to be magical and under an illusion spell as well.
Uh-huh. Alright, we got our crystal, potentially.
Alright. Can you use your perception? See if it's actually a dragon egg. It might have something inside of it.
I could. Should the GM let me?
You could roll perception.
So,
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
all reliable.
So
reliable.
you kind of pick up the little glass dragon egg, and as you look at it pretty closely, it does feel really light and fragile, but it's also feels like there's something heavier than what is the inside of the egg, than what is the egg inside of it. It doesn't rattle around, but there is something heavy inside this light, fragile glass egg.
Is
About
there
as
like
heavy as like a
seam?
piece of stone or a piece of metal or something. About
Mhm.
a rock or something. A few
Would
pounds.
I be able to get it out? Somehow.
Likely not without
Really?
destroying the egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's keep it then. But we'll just turn to Dal and say, what say you we just drop all that cloak and dagger stuff. I mean, been going at it for hours. Then boom, look at that. We just burst into one room and find all this. I say, we just take all this, go down and confront the man in front of everybody. Templars be damned. I think it might be easier. But then, could just move on and do something else.
In all honesty, we've acquired all the evidence that they asked us to do so. Now, the only thing I can ask is to bring the Templars. We'll send young Snacks out to grab them, and we approach him now. Make sure there's no escape for him.
Well, I'm sure other guests will make sure that nothing.
If he's as honest
else?
as he seems to be, I hope so.
Besides, well, Snacks is gone. Well, it's probably Templars posted just outside anyway.
Aye.
We've been authorized to use spell. He probably won't know what hit him before it even does. So I say we do that right now. Maybe.
Delon nods. Let's.
Okay, I can sling that cloak over my shoulder. Could I trouble you picking up the painting with you?
I can do that. Delon approaches it tempestuously.
It is warm to the touch.
How warm?
About Blonde, you have Templar training. Make a survival roll.
Got it.
Good guidance.
Damn.
Well, guidance would save you, but
Yeah. You know what? I'll re-roll an inspiration roll on this.
Alrighty.
I'll do that. Okay, that's a little better.
And Gilnas, do you want to do the guidance?
oh yeah. I mean, we will drop
Ah.
the detect magic, but we don't really need that. Well,
Alright.
unless I detect magic on the dude, but whatever.
Alright, 13.
Alright, 13. It is about as warm as a recently killed creature.
Delon actually sighs, picking up the painting. I think Grimadugal was a real merchant, and he never made it out of this tavern.
Unfortunate. But is there anything behind the painting? Oh,
Yeah,
case.
yeah, just in
Uh,
case.
There is a burned mark on the wall just behind it. It is a burn in the mark, and it looks like it's in the shape of a dragon's head. It's a black burned dragon's head.
Okay, yeah, we have all the evidence we need. Yeah, we're pretty set.
Yep.
All right.
The creepy
Time
thing
to
is that
confront
the
this
blood
prick.
has leaked through from the back of the painting, and it's gone into the eye sockets of the dragon head. Looks like it's looking at you with red eyes.
I'm actually gonna take my lungs. Yeah, go ahead.
We'll give him the finger.
Delon actually is gonna take his blade and he's gonna stab one of the red eyes.
The wall bleeds,
And I'm
but
gonna
the blood
pull back.
begins to dissolve the wall
Okay.
like acid.
I'm gonna slowly back up immediately.
Make me a acrobatics roll.
Okay. I want to also change that I use the ebony dagger to do it. Because fuck it, that sounds cooler.
Sounds good.
Acrobatics, right?
Yep.
20.
So immediately sensing danger, your Templar senses kick in. As you dexterously just dip out of the way, you see a large amount of acid suddenly explode from the wall and start covering the room.
Gildas, grab everything now.
Way ahead of you, my friend. And then, yep, just get a little down to the
Yeah,
floor.
We're running.
Like, as soon as my feet touch the ground floor.
Yeah.
I look to our whatever friend.
You
Yawn.
see him, you mean like the mage here?
Yeah.
Old
He
person?
has his back currently to you. He's writing in his journal.
I don't care.
Whole person?
Yep.
Alright.
I don't know what the spell save is like 14 when I just fucking 15 on my the top of the thing. It's weird.
Suddenly, you see as, you hear him muttering something to himself. You know your spell has been counterspelled.
Uh-huh.
You heard it because you have really good passive perception. You can also tell he's
Well-
beginning to chant another spell.
But what
Okay.
about my surprise round, Marshall?
Maybe he knew, maybe he heard you coming. Maybe he knew.
Maybe he knew. Maybe the GM doesn't want you to just kill him immediately.
I mean, the room was his room, so you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
He knew the jig is up.
he's preparing another spell. You have time to do one other thing.
Well, since I've heard him, yeah, where are the stairs actually?
The stairs are basically right, I would say like somewhere over in here. So
Okay.
he's right near the
So-
stairs. Then there's more stairs that go this way. Doors here. There's a window like here and here, and these are like
So
bathrooms.
Snacks is doing his little jig there. Is
Mhm.
Victor looking that way? Is it?
He was. When your spell got counterspelled, he immediately looked in Grimmerdoogle's direction. He's actually muttering his own spell currently.
Okay, well, that's all I need to know. Because I wanted to, ask for his help, but he's already doing something. So I still have time.
Yeah.
So, well, basically, what I
He
can
stopped writing. His quill has been put down. His hand is on top of the book. Some magic symbols have appeared on his pinky, and he is muttering something. Magic incantation of some sort.
Well, fuck it, Marshall. Never done it. I've no reason to do it because I'm a cleric. But I was gonna fucking run at him. Grab him.
So you run at him, and you're gonna like try to like grapple him or something?
Yes.
Make an athletics roll.
Hey, dude, I know that to cast spells you need hands, usually. So where's my
No, my
athlete?
one weakness.
Besides, Talon's right behind me. Can
I
grapple
am.
the both of us. Yeah, boom. It is.
Damn!
Bitch.
So you go to grab him, and you actually manage to just completely grab him and restrain him. And due to him either being pressed against the table or being pushed on the floor, his incantation is broken vocally as well. Oh, wait, what's happening? Help! Help! I'm under assault! Help!
Delon immediately gestures. He has the painting in hand, and he points, rushing up to Gildus and Grimmerdoodle. Snacks! Templars! Door! Now!
You see as soon as that happens, a Templar crashes in through the window right here.
Alright,
The
that's my
Templars start
boys.
coming in through the door, and
That's my
you
boys.
hear Victor Fatoni cast a spell as the man yelling for help. Suddenly, all three of you are inside a cone of silence. Basically, silence has been dropped on you all.
Thank you.
So not only can he not yell for help, he can't even do a vocal component.
God bless you, the real hero. Thank you, Mr. Dino Spumoni.
So very quickly after this, you find that Templars start surrounding. They quickly, one of them quickly seems to cast a spell, which causes Grimmerdoodle to turn to stone.
That'll do it.
Efficient.
Delon will pick up the book that he's holding on to.
Even
stone.
even as he fell, he grabbed the book on the way down. So it's kind of like it would be hard to remove it from his hand without maybe losing a stone finger or something.
Do I really care at this
Yeah,
point?
exactly. Who cares?
You know what? I'll roll to be as gentle as possible.
All right, roll me a sleight of hand roll.
17, baby.
So you managed to only crack a finger but not break any off, as you managed to get the book from him.
Just
He'll
split
wake
the
up with a
paper.
broken finger. He'll be fine.
Basically.
Delon's like, that's acceptable in my business. Like, I'm not as far as I'm concerned, Delon's like, this guy's a monster, but I'm treating him with respect. It's like oh man, you broke my finger, man. It's just like, you'll be fine. We'll put you in a stent. We caught a serial killer and he just broke one pinky. He's fine. Yeah, to the restless word. He goes, not even a broken hand. It's like, not even a broken finger. I'm getting better at this.
You hear Doric mutter under his breath from behind you, "About damn time." You hear you just see Gerald looking around frantically. He actually draws his blade and he's like, "Hey, is everyone all right?" He's a little
Delon.
wobbly, but even a little wobbly, he's ready for action, kind of a thing.
Delon will actually smile as he's stepping out of the cone of silence. Ease, my friend, easy.
Templars, this is something was. What happened? You actually see Darius come into the room. At ease, soldier. We have apprehended a criminal, nothing more. You may return to your seat, have a drink on me. And after that, sober up, will you? Yes, Commander Darius. Wolfson. My apologies for dragging you into this, Sir Strong Stance. Told you it wasn't me. I just had to be sure. Should have booked all four of us.
Exactly.
That may pass.
Well, he's
in Reynolds.
Rinaldian, of course he agrees.
That may
Yeah.
pass in Reynolds. But we can't simply go arresting our citizens unprompted. Had plenty of prompt, in my opinion.
Gildas just has his crossed arms, just being like, mm-hmm.
It's like, finally, can you know, drop the pretense of like being like, no, the King's Land is.
You actually see Victor stand up and walk over. Excellent, excellent. I hope that I was not an impediment, Commander. You were quite an impediment, Victor. You should have come forth with any information you had earlier instead of operating independently. You understand, however, that roaches scatter when revealed in the moonlight. Creatures that are barely even human. That have cast off their humanity the moment they committed the cardinal sins. They are terrified of being brought to the light. We have different opinions on such things, but yes, I understand you felt a subtle approach was more appropriate.
Delon steps closer. To be fair, Commander, the success is to show the effort. Delon also gestures with this book. He was holding on to this book. It shows his inventory, but it's an illusionary script. Have anyone remove the casting on it, you'll find it. Upstairs, we found this painting, and Delon gently places against. I believe this is all that remains of the original merchant Grimmer Dougal.
You see Victor actually snap his fingers. I see, they did that old trick. What trick is that, Victor? Well, he hid the body perfectly preserved within the painting as if it was still in life. Then he just had to play up that he was the merchant from Mysterium. Play up that he had a bit of an ego, but he was antsy and anxious. Most would never
Doesn't
check
like-
a painting.
It seemed like he had bottomless pockets. Well, downtrodden merchant too. But we've also fought a mimic, and this is what we found outside. I hand over the egg and the other thing.
The ring.
Yeah.
So
the
you
ring.
see as Darius looks at the ring for a moment, and he just casts dispel magic, and it turns from silver to platinum.
Yep.
See him cast dispel magic on the egg, and it turns into a small, beautiful-looking red, almost velvety red, tiny little lockbox. He casts dispel magic again, and then one final time before he snaps his fingers. Lieutenant, remove this lock. And someone does come over and puts it on a table, very quickly lockpicks it, and Darius opens it, and inside is the gemstone they've been looking for. Alarm and 2 glyphs of warding is redundant. Excessive. Only 2. Here, I expected a
Come
glyph of warding out somewhere else as well.
Well, now we'll have to deal with one on the door. An
And
illusion
one
on the
on the lock itself.
Yes. An illusion on the painting and an illusion on the cloak. So, well, unfortunately, I can't cast this many dispel magic in a single day. Oh, then I look to Victor and say, oh, and pardon for the subterfuge, but I'm not just a mercenary or a faithful Bridget, I'm her champion.
Was the story fictitious?
It was true, but not mine.
Someone else you know then? Family member, perhaps?
Just one of my numerous clients who shared a story with me.
Then I will consider the drink that I shared in his honor, and we shared the drink in his honor.
I nod.
It was good to meet Bridget's champion. It is rare I meet a fellow champion. Darius nods, hands behind his back. Yes, Victor here is Tiamat's champion. Come now. I am far too humble to consider such titles among my lady. She's given you many benefits up until that point. It is a title you've earned.
Evan would be freaking out right now.
Yeah. Well, this is like we both hate it very well.
I consider the title an honor, but I do not consider myself worthy of it. But I strive to be worthy of it. Every morning and every evening.
That's a sentiment I can share.
But I would say this is worth a congratulations. Quite pleased with the results you've done. I would have investigated some rooms myself, but I'm afraid that if I'd done so, we would have booked you, Victor. You just see Victor give an honest smile. You are no longer a member of the Templar Order. You cast off your abilities as a Inquisitor. You cannot simply go around using your authority as if you are still an Inquisitor among the Templars.
One actually points to that Inquisitor.
Former Inquisitor.
Right. I was surprised as well when I looked at his ring and saw the emblem. But also so when I knew that should the time come, it'd be on our side.
Well, what's done is done. The day has been saved. And these guests poor souls can all finally continue to live their lives. Except for this fellow over here. This fellow will be giving us much information, I'm sure.
Darius
But,
nods. We're going to take special care of him. Seems he's a mage of some particular skill.
Aye. He's a red magus.
It's a real one, I can assure you. How so, Victor? He didn't decompose into dust. This isn't a task they'd simply leave up to something that could be killed so easily. Under our studious gaze, Templars could notice such an abomination. Templars may not pass or blink too much of an eye at a standard magician. It's all the proper paperwork. But they'd notice such an abomination if they got close. No, this needed finesse. And you chose not to tell us this. It required finesse.
Balan nods and will corroborate. He's being honest. Sir Gildas and our company has dealt with these individuals before. If he was truly not here at this moment in time, he would turn into red dust. There'd be nothing more of him but a cloak. But the fact that he's here, why he was so important for him not to be captured, this is a win.
The thing that disturbs me is he was so easily apprehended. Yes, charged, resisted his spell, resisted arrest, but was merely silenced and then petrified. Should a red magus be so easy to capture? If he wishes to remain subtle and do not draw excessive amounts of attention to himself, yes. He may not have fully understood that he was already well within our grasp. A minor overstep. That's all it takes. One mistake can end your career.
If you don't believe us, be careful on the remains upstairs. It's covered in acid, but you'll find the remains of a black dragon symbol.
Thank you, Delon. And you, Gildas. And Bob, Snacks, Eleanor, and Yorm. We have reserved a room, one of the much nicer taverns. Just a little ways away. Make yourself comfortable.
Right.
You've earned it. This tavern will be thoroughly locked down and investigated. Master Strong stance. He's already standing up. I don't like acid.
Right.
And Lieutenant Gerald McAllister. Yes, sir. Take your drink with you when you go. Yes, sir. And when you return to the barracks tonight, you're going to be having to make a report. A report? That's right. You were a witness. We need your report. First-hand accounts, everything that happened. Yes, sir. Slowly, you begin to see some people begin to peter out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Delon will actually look to Victor for Tony. Excuse me. This individual You are Tiamat's champion.
Yes. She has deemed me worthy. For many years.
Where did you say you came from again?
Clogcaster.
Well, since the roots is up, I am Sir Delon Asilius Guillemay.
Ah, the Guillemays. I have read of you. Good family.
Thank thee. Greatly appreciated.
And I suppose I should formally introduce myself as well. Gilda Salmond, champion of Bridget, and newly appointed war chief of the Land of Monsters.
Ah, so you're that pink orc then.
That would be me, yes.
I'd say you're a bit
And-
more beige, perhaps.
Ah, well, can you blame goblins, really? Pink is pink, beige is beige.
Ugly is ugly.
But, exactly. And I suppose I should say thank you for the information on those three mages. I'm sure those will come in handy in the future.
You're welcome. They've eluded my grasp. They were small fish, and I was hunting the biggest game.
Perhaps, but knowing who to look for is, well, will make things easier.
Hopefully
Right.
you're looking into them so that you can avoid them.
Unfortunately, what we do it means, well, we can't do that.
Well then tread carefully and tread within the moonlight. And should Bahamut be looking after you as well, may you tread within the sunlight as well.
Oh,
May
and
light forever guide your paths.
incidentally, my question about the enclaves was because we did go there.
Ah,
But the recent as well. Well,
I've not been in
A
some
month ago.
time. I went there as I heard of them. They seemed to be cultists. I wished to find out if they were. I determined they were eerily similar, but more of a practicing religion than true cultists. Ultimately harmless at the end of the day.
indeed.
Tell me, what sort of traveling companions? What sort of group is this? You have a white dragonborn, a Rinaldian, who's a champion, Bridget, a drow woman, a clawcaster mountain dwarf, and 2 kobolds.
Well, in the beginning, well, really, baseline is, well, we all, much like our cover, we were hired by the lady to escort her on an expedition. Although, when we say hired, it's more like pledge ourselves to her the duration of the trip. And fortunately, external factors mean that this has become much larger than simply meeting business partners.
Hmm.
He speaks the truth, but I always considered it always more than just an expedition. We were always on a valiant quest, looking for good deeds, trying to do what's right. When I approached, I even started this journey, and still am, in search of the King's Glaive.
Ah. A most noble quest, and one many of my contemporaries have called a fool's errand. To look for it is to wander.
Aye, but I've made much progress, and I've come to know many things, seen many things, and I'm always encouraged to know that I will continue to know and see many more things.
Then I will consider you someone to keep my eye on. The lot of you. An expedition, you say, to meet business companions.
I mean, we are looking
the
for sponsors.
Chrysanthemum Expedition Party of Asterium, then? You're very well informed. I tend to be.
I suppose we can't deny it at that point. Yes, one and the same.
Good work on the mountain pass.
Thank you.
Of course. Excellent job handling the bandits as well.
See, you know about that one as well.
I stay very up to date on current affairs.
Perhaps we're the ones that should be keeping an eye on you, Sir Fatoni.
You are more than welcome to. You would not be the first. Nor do I assume you'll be the last. As he gives like a small smile in the direction of Darius, who visibly frowns at him.
Not in the mood, Fatoni.
See him drag. So the table that's just been knocked over, you see as the Templars have already taken the stoned Red Magus out of the room.
Yeah.
You see as Victor walks over, kind of puts the table upright and drags a chair over and sits down on it. He reaches into his jacket and takes out a small pipe. You see him cast Produce Flame, light it, and kind of move his hand around a little before taking a huff of the pipe. I must say, it was quite fun working with you all. Ah, Champion of Bridget. In my travels, I also came across an unfortunate situation that I think you should be made aware of. I had thought
To go on.
that I'd be quite blessed as to meet one of Bridget's that I might communicate it. In my country, Gloucester, there is a temple in the woods, near to the coast. It's actually on the hilltop, cliffside. The boughs of this temple reach into the cliffside itself. The ocean is just on the other side of the cliff. There is a tomb of Bridget's. The unfortunate information that I wish to tell you is that a cultist, a necromancer, has made himself quite comfortable inside. And he is desecrating your holy place. I regret to inform you that he is still there.
Right. So it is a necromancer we have to deal with.
Yes.
To be told, I knew about the place, and I had already inquired about it from a undesirable scholar in Asterium.
Galantis laughs.
Many such scholars,
So-
I'm afraid.
So I knew about the dead, but couldn't tell me what the rose from the road. Well, you know, by some mean, or there was somebody leading them. But
I evaluated the temple, but Bridget had a divine protection that did not allow me entrance. She seemed very protective of whatever was inside, and she did not want almost anyone else to get in. I asked an old clergyman, if he could let me in, and he said no. Only Bridget may enter. I did not press it further. I told him I wished to stop this. I wished to deal with your problem. Denied me. Said it is not for me. It's for a member of our faith to handle. I just wished him luck. But I did find out that there is a taint around the land. Something wicked, something corrupt, something evil. It seeped into the ground, seeped into the cliffside. Seemingly taken root inside the temple. That is likely what drew your necromancer. Necromancer is a former professor of Asterium's college, I believe.
Huh.
I remember
Well.
telling him, but by the time I got to his goblin hideout, the place had been properly ransacked. Nothing remained.
Wait. Goblin have look to Dallin and say, you don't think that certain Iggy Blaster would be there?
That's the name we haven't heard in some time.
You know of this man?
Well, back in our first foray into Asterium, we had
About
a
a year
quest
ago.
Right. We had a quest to deal with the certain goblin hideout in the trade route retired by them. Funny story is that it's how I became an official war chief, taking the goblins for myself and driving the very same Miguel Vlastu out of the cave.
I see.
Mutiny of some sort. But do you think he potentially made his way all the way to Midcaster, into one of my own temples, desecrating it?
There must
One
be something
nods.
within that he wants. Something he believes could give him power. Perhaps the souls of those faithful to Bridget are quite strong, and he wishes to use them for something.
Salon glances at Gildas. Could be also revenge for you taking his goblins.
It could, but would he be so petty as to do that? Perhaps.
No.
Have you heard of the legendary quarrels between conjurations and necromancer classes?
I have.
They
Being
are
a
the most
graduate,
petty.
being a graduate from the conjuration class, yes.
He was the former professor of the conjuration class, though he always had an eye for the necromancy class. His previous rival of the necromancy class is now heading the conjuration class, and his previous rival of the current conjuration class is now heading the necromancy class. It's a vicious cycle.
Indeed. But well, thank you for the information. Now that I know what to expect, I can prepare myself. And while I did have some ideas already, I think I can execute them without any worries.
You are quite welcome.
And if I do ever come across the Temple of Tiamat, I'll be sure to properly pay my respects.
I appreciate it, and I'm sure my lady will as well. She would never admit it. Perhaps never say it. But she does enjoy tributes.
It seems the moon deities really do like them. So, it would be surprised if Tiamat was well did as well.
I have it on good authority that whatever divine barrier Bridget has erected has trapped him within as well. None may enter, none may leave. As soon as someone were to enter, the barrier would drop, and the prison he has been placed upon would be gone. Mortal Kombat music plays.
Let's do this. Yeah.
But now that this whole affair is over, I think it's about time that those lords get resent their invitations so that they can return.
Aye. I think the ball will continue now. Delana glances sadly to the painting. It's a shame this McDougal will not be there to sell his wares.
I know he had a son. I intend to sell his wares and send the money to his son. Once I've finished, I might arrive at the ball. I might be fashionably late. Victor? What? Can an old war hero, a champion, as well as a glorified Templar not arrive at the Royal Ball? You were not invited. But I have quite a lot of favors to call in. Victor? In fact, I've been meaning to talk to Yolio. I will arrange one meeting for you and Yolio. Thank you.
Delon does not appreciate they too. No, don't he? I appreciate your effort to try to do what you can for his family. If I could, I would do so in your stead.
It's quite alright. It's the way I see it, I was too slow. Thus, an innocent man was slaughtered. So it is my burden to bear, mine to come to terms with.
For that, you have my respect. Till then. And as such, I'm sure you've had many sleepless nights. I think we should adjourn ourselves from this place.
He nods, but he does briefly take his pipe out of his mouth.
I never have restless nights, Lord Guillemets. I always sleep peacefully, undisturbed. But with my lady at my back, for what is there to worry?
Indeed. Then you are quite fortunate.
Fortunate is one word for it. Blessed is another.
Aye. Aye.
Shall we away then? It is getting rather late.
Yes. I think we should. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, honestly, I think we should do, yeah.
It was a pleasure to meet you, Master Fatoni.
Pleasure to meet you as well, Lady Chrysanthemum. Perhaps next time when I see you, I'll get the pleasure of seeing you for real.
I would not be too hopeful.
I will pray for it.
You dog.
Get in line.
You sly dog.
But alrighty. So with that, the party begins to make their way to the inn across the way. Delon, you recognize that the inn Darius has booked is a pretty ritzy one. You've been here once before
for your eldest brother's stag party.
Hmm.
It's a very nice place, very expensive, but not the most expensive, but it is really nice. Like the rooms are basically the size of well, one personal room is the size of the bar here, kind of a thing. It's very nice. But alrighty. So with that, as the party turns in for the night, after a hard investigation, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you have a good one. Bye bye.